The song always sounds wacky to me, but I always like it. I was trying to find a song that matched Akihiko, but I couldn't find one. So I said screw it. I'm just gonna go with the Iwatoad I don't. I got enough of you. Are you ready for Reading Simulator? No. I'm also still 49% not done. Or 40% complete. I think I have to go back and do all the weird routes for everybody. I think that's how I get more percent. But it's time for Akihiko salad. Akihiko salami.
I'm a long way from home.
This was the song I was trying to find and I couldn't find it. Oh, look at this man. That's true stud status. Ever since I left Japan, I've been constantly searching for places to test my strength. Before I knew it, I'd wound up on the end of the globe. As I walk down a dark alley, a dry wind blows. I can see people inside the buildings, but I don't sense any life here. Just because it's quiet, doesn't mean that it's anything close to safe, though. Well, it just shows that not everywhere in the world is affluent. I sense a hostile presence from somewhere. I glance around and see two thugs smirking at me with narrowed eyes. Our gazes meet, and suddenly those thugs, a seedy-looking large man and a thin man stand before me.
Yo, bro, haven't seen your mug around here.
Welcome to America.
We noticed you. Come on, man, spare us some change. We just need a little, man. We'll double it in no time in that gambling den over there.
You're in my way. Move it.
Thugs are momentarily stunned by my answer, but their shock quickly dissolves into anger.
And we were being friendly. I should have pulled this on you at the start.
Why does that voice sound familiar? The large man's words produce a fusillade of spittle as he simultaneously whips out what he believes is his trump card. It's a gun. He waves the muzzle in front of my face in a threatening manner.
A body like that, and you gotta resort to a gun? Pathetic. To begin with, do I really look like I carry that much money on me?
Ain't you Japanese? Most Asians stupid enough to come waltz around here are loaded.
But that's racist.
Come on, give me everything you got, or it's gonna be your brains on the floor.
Large man is quite short-tempered. I wonder if his mood swings are due to the lack of calcium in his diet. I guess you really don't get to choose what you eat when you live in a place like this. Large man apparently realizes that he can simply take my cash when I'm dead, and his fat fingers squeezes the trigger before I can reply. A gunshot rings out and sends a shockwave through the alley's dry air.
Son of a bitch!
The large man stands stupefied. He recollects himself and throws a few more rounds my way.
What the? What kind of hit him?
Akihiko fast enough to dodge bullets? It's because I'm dodging his shots, not the bullets. They obviously move faster than the human body. When a slow man uses a gun, the problem is that he has to point the gun where he wants to send the bullets, and I can see him doing that. I'm just reading his gun's movement and getting out of his line of fire before he shoots. It's that simple. But he thinks there's something wrong with the gun, or that he's not aiming well. Some people. I think he's the embodiment of the phrase, big head, little wit. I never heard that phrase in my life. He never realizes what's happening. I dodge his hail of bullets and quickly close the distance to my attempted murderer. I get a good look at his face, contorting in fear and confusion.
Checkmate.
Blech. I strike once, burying my fist into his porcine gut. His body lifts off the ground for a brief moment before it collapses on the ground. The massive impact lifts a huge cloud of dust and the man doesn't stir.
You should be more careful who you pick your fights with.
Don't you know I killed the god of death?
You bastard!
The thin man pulls something from his pocket to hear the loud click of a switchblade being unfolded. He drops into a crouch, coiled and ready to strike.
At least you know the basics.
The reprobate extends his arm and thrusts the dully shining knife towards me in a telegraphed attack. I get inside his arm and swipe the attack angle of the blade out of the way with my right hand, striking my left hand underneath his jaw. Ah, I hit him with the Will Smith. Since he attacks in the most obvious fashion, I repel the attack with the most obvious counter. The uppercut lands flush and the man is cast into the air as he utters an undignified scream.
I gotta hand it to you for not abandoning your pal.
Sheesh. I didn't come on a journey to waste my time getting into scraps that don't even rate as a good warm-up. Although honestly, pretty much all that I had encountered so far in my training was a continuous more morass of tedious quarrels. Now up ahead, I notice that the dust from the fat man's landing has gotten on my cape and I brush it off. This is the only mark that I took from the encounter. Bodily injuries will heal over time even if they're left alone, but the same can't be said about one's clothing.
Damn, that was impressive stuff.
Oh, here's the Iwatodai. Someone speaks to me out of the blue. I glance over and see a man who looks like a bartender hesitantly emerge from a nearby bar. It seems he was watching the whole thing unfold.
What a fight! And against a man with a gun? Are you a ninja or something?
Are you saying that because I'm Japanese?
That's not important. We're the police. I'd have thought all the gunfire would catch their attention.
The bartender responds to my bewilderment by laughing, in an even more dumbfounded manner and shrug.
Things like that happen all the time. The only authority here is the cartel.
Cartel?
Everyone who's not connected dies in poverty. That's been how it works for over 50 years.
I see.
Those who are not connected. Upon hearing that, a bitter feeling wells up inside me. Everything in this world relies on connections, and connections are just another form of power. People say that what's most important can't be obtained by power, but I figure that means the other 99.9% of everything is simply a matter of power. That includes one's lifespan. And at times, the lifespan of those close to you as well.
Hey, why not stop in for a drink? It's on the house. Seeing what you did made my day.
Sorry, buddy, don't drink. The bartender's cheerful voice snaps me out of my ruminations.
Are you sure? The cartel you mentioned might not like that.
Hey, I'll get off easy compared to you. All I did was offer you a drink, not beat the hell out of their goons.
A drink,
You
huh?
have the good stuff in stock?
Huh?
It's hard to obtain that certain something around here. I haven't had any for a couple days now.
Guarantee this guy's about to say protein.
Actually, I'm starting to go into withdrawal.
What is it you're talking about, mister? Listen, I run a clean bar.
Protein. I need a double shot of protein.
Who would have guessed?
Bro.
Make it quick. It's only half as effective 30 minutes after I burn some calories.
Sorry, I don't know that brand. Is that some kind of sake?
No.
No. It's alright if you don't have any.
Is that some form of sake? Sheesh, what am I thinking? You never know unless you try, but it was pretty stupid of me to expect that a bartender in a dive bar like this would have protein drinks. I shake my head and collect myself. When I finally return to Japan, I'll have all the protein my muscle fibers are crying out for. Sounds great just thinking about it. Mountains of protein as far as the eye can see. But my daydreams of what world of infinite protein would be like are interrupted. Beep boop beep. I take out my cell phone and see that I've received an email. There are 3 important things on this sub-display. The first thing is the icon that tells me that international roaming service is in effect. Second is the name Kirijo. And the last thing is the word urgent.
Looks like opportunity's knocking sooner than I expected.
I can't hide my smirk. The fact that the message says urgent means that I'm being summoned for a mission.
Fine with me. I haven't found any opponents worth my time here anyway.
Plus, the training journey I'm on was preparation for these missions. It was my way of showing that I would be suited for taking on these special missions as a professional. It seems that either my plan is working or that it is fate telling me that the time to display my results has come. Ah yes, the generic scene of the
I
sky.
can't wait to see what kind of challenge there is in store for me now.
I can't wait to beat up a bunch of teenagers. I imagine what is this unknown enemy could be, and thrust my left fist proudly toward the foreign winds. I can't keep my body from trembling with excitement, and I plant my fist into the right palm. Nice. Mr. Protein. Early morning, May 3rd, Japan. After a flight that took over half a day, I arrive in Japan. Every time I fly, it always strikes me how cramped the seats are, and how dull it is to be on long flights. Considering that we're being placed in a hypoxic environment, it's a waste not to equip the seats with pec decks, or give us access to some cardio equipment. The heck's a pec deck? As I head towards the arrival lobby while thinking about my ideal airline, I hear something I haven't heard in a while. A newscaster reporting in my mother tongue.
Good morning. It's May 3rd, Constitution Memorial Day.
Ah, yes.
Our top
Japanese.
story today is an update on the hijacking 2 days ago. 5 men attempted a daring hijacking of a domestic airline, the first such incident in Japan in the 21st century. Police began their official interrogation of the arrested suspects this morning. But all depositions have been vague so far, with suspects complaining of muddled memories. Psychiatric exams are being considered.
That must be the incident she mentioned in her email.
Isn't this 2013? I think. Why are they still using email? 2 days ago in Japan, a jumbo jet bound for Kagoshima was hijacked by a group of 5 men. The hijacking attempt was quickly dealt with because of the hijackers' half-hearted planning, but there was a bigger issue. Unbeknownst to the public, the passenger flight that hijacked was supposed to have a very important piece of cargo loaded onto it. During the confusion surrounding the hijacking incident, the cargo seemed to have been stolen before it was loaded onto the plane. The hijacking was just a smokescreen for the real crime. Using a hijacking as a distraction for a simple cargo theft is pretty daring, but it's also desperate and risky. My mission is to retrieve that cargo from whomever wanted it so badly. This isn't a situation that can go left to ordinary policemen. This cargo is extremely dangerous, and the retrieval has to be done discreetly due to its sensitive nature. I look away from the monitor and begin walking again. My cell phone immediately begins ringing as if the caller was waiting for me the entire time. The name Mitsuru Kirijo appears on the sub-display. Mitsuru Kirijo, she's the one who summoned me here, for this mission. I didn't tell her any details about my return flight, but she must have found the information on her own and called after learning of my arrival. She's still as prepared as ever.
It's me.
It's been a long time, Akihiko. I'm sorry to call you back on such short notice.
Where did you go, Akihiko? You're supposed to pay for the kids.
Don't worry about it. How was it a good stop?
Mitsuru has much greater standing in the group than I, but we've been classmates since middle school, and she fought alongside me in my biggest battle. I have a feeling that the only reason we were able to pull through such an ordeal was because we helped each other back then.
So, who's our next enemy?
Don't be so impatient. You received the brief I sent you, right? What I didn't say directly in it is that the stolen cargo was from Ergo Research.
I figured it would be Kirijo Group related, with you having to call me back.
Most ordinary people in Japan would have at least heard of the name Kirijo. The Kirijo Group, a large conglomerate, one of the few within Japan that can boast a large market share overseas. Their influence is so ever-present that they touch many aspects of the typical citizen's daily life. Mitsuru is part of that organization. In fact, she is the only daughter of its founding family. She grew up with untold responsibilities and expectations and has been forced to navigate tumultuous social situations ever since she was young. That is why she has a refined personality, maturity beyond her years, and strong leadership skills. Although the same circumstances also expose her to the occasional surprising lapse in naivete.
What was inside this cargo?
The 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon, Lapras.
An anti-shadow weapon? Does that mean...
Yes, she's one of Aegis's sister units. She was sealed at the time of the robbery, but we think it's very likely that she's been activated by now.
Which means there's a good chance there'll be a fight. Alright. Yeah, this would be too much for the normal authorities. Sounds like it'll be right up my alley.
Time for Mr. Protein Man. The man who ran the group 2 generations ago, Koetsu Kirijo, he was the founder of the group and also Mitsuru's grandfather. Around 10 years ago, some research he was working on brought about a huge distortion into the world. The forces that created the distortion were known as shadows. I guess the best way I could describe them would be to say that they are monsters incarnated of the darkness in people's hearts. In any case, there's something completely absurd like that. Koetsu Kirijo used Ergo Research, a facility that would later be known as the infamous Kirijo Ergonomics Lab, to repeatedly perform inhumane experiments. He was artificially drawing out shadows in an attempt to gain powers beyond what mortal man should have. But the experiment failed during the final stages. What remained after a big explosion were over 50 casualties and a distortion of the world that can never be repaired. Normal people are completely unable to sense this distortion at all, and yet the same distortion could cause the entire world to collapse. 3 years ago, Mitsuru and I, along with our friends, devoted ourselves to a fight in order to end the threat of the collapse. Oh no, don't show me this. The bonds and precious memories I gained from them are engraved upon my heart and haven't faded to this day. God, this just makes me want Persona 3 on PC.
But I'd be more reassured with you there. We have a general idea of where it was taken, the Inaba area, where there were reports of suspected shadow activity last year.
Okay, I'll meet up with you at the actual location.
Are you heading directly there? You never change. Let me know if you need anything and I'll make the arrangements.
Protein, that's all.
Protein.
What? No, it's better I don't ask. I'll send you the precise location later. Sorry to call when you've just returned from a trip, but I'm relying on your assistance.
I guess I don't know how deep Akihiko goes.
You went to a lot of trouble to create the shadow operatives.
God, they made this guy brain dead.
I won't do anything to tarnish the name. I'll see you there.
The Shadow Operatives, that's the organization I'm part of. We're a joint task force comprised of the Kirijo group and the police officially. We do not exist. Our main mission is to deal with shadow-related cases that police are incapable of handling. Our objective is to prevent or minimize the collateral damage caused by shadows. Shadows can only be defeated by Persona users. Mitsuru, myself, and many of the members belonging to the Shadow Operatives have personas and knowledge about them. Mitsuru is fully dedicating herself to prevent Kirijo's tainted legacy from falling into the wrong hands. That is no, it is the shared duty of all of us in the group. I noticed that I've unconsciously formed my hand into a fist. I have an email from Mitsuru giving me the details of the meeting location. As usual, she's thoroughly planned this out.
Inaba, huh?
A smile appears on my face. An opportunity to use all the skills and strength I've been honing. I will commit every fiber of my being to fulfill the duty I've been given. I couldn't ask for more. I mean, you've been training yourself physically, but not with your persona. You know? The same day afternoon. I arrived in Inaba earlier than I had planned. There's a lot of time to kill before I need to be at the meeting. In order to get a feel of the town and what's going on, I decided to walk around a bit. From the looks of it, it's an ordinary countryside town. I can't believe that people will think a level 4 shadow-related case occurred here last year. As far as I can tell, there doesn't seem to be any disturbance going on right now. It looks like the unit named Labrys isn't running around here either. As soon as I stray from the main streets a bit, it's mountains and fields as far as the eye can see. The air is clean and traffic is pretty light, so the town has that going for it. This would be a great place to go running early in the morning. Oh, that's Chiaz, what she's doing right now. I wait for everyone to come while exploring as much of the town as I can.
It's almost time.
My cape flutters in the wind as I shadowbox and jog to the meeting area, an intersection on the outskirts of what this town would call its shopping district. Meeting up in a rural area like this is a bit of a tricky situation. Since the Shadow Operatives do not officially exist, we need to draw as little attention to our mission as possible. Hopefully we can quickly join up and be on our way so that the residents don't take notice of a bunch of outsiders assembling in their sleepy town. Is that a terrorist? Unfortunately, when I arrive at the meeting point, Mitsuru and the others are nowhere to be seen.
Something happen? I doubt she'd run into any trouble she couldn't handle, though.
Could it be that I'm at the wrong place? There aren't any tall buildings to block my view, so I look in every direction. The only thing obstructing my view is a mountain of garbage that looks like it might be a scrap heap or a junkyard. Might as well be diligent and head over there just to make sure. Hey, he's smart. I enter the area and it's full of all kinds of junk. Cars and household appliances, large and small, are piled into artificial mountains. I test my footing and begin climbing up the stacked trash. Looking down, I spot a long black limousine that is completely out of place in this tiny town. I come to a realization and sigh.
Of course. They'd stand out no matter where they were, so they could only park here.
Two of my friends are standing by the limousine. A woman decked out in a fur coat and a mechanical girl. It's Mitsuru and Aigis. Right before I call out to them, Aigis does something bizarre. She extends her right arm towards the TV screen in front of her, and... Aigis' hand is passing right through the screen. Her steel fingers aren't breaking the TV screen. They're definitely going inside it. Concentric rings of white light are rippling forth from where she inserted her hand.
It's the same as mine. It's hard to say definitively since this is my first encounter with it, but I believe this reading is from a personality module.
Does that mean our retrieval target is inside the TV?
Yes. I don't understand how or why, but it seems that people can enter that TV. If that's the case, it would be the perfect place to hide stolen cargo. That makes things easier.
Huh. Sounds like fun.
Bing bing. The two of them looked up in surprise.
Is that Akihiko?
No. It's Beaky Bookie. I leap off the mountain of trash and land in front of them.
You didn't show up at the rendezvous point, so I went looking and found you here. This whole TV thing is pretty interesting.
Akihiko, what on earth are you wearing? Just what were you doing overseas?
Didn't I tell you that I was on a training expedition?
Don't tell me you came here from the airport like that. Does the concept of keeping a low profile mean nothing to you?
No, I buttoned it up. I take a glance at Mitsuru and I can tell that she's summoning up her coldest stare. This clothing allows me to have much better mobility, but I don't think Mitsuru is going to listen to my explanation.
Mitsuru-san, I believe we have lost the right to complain about that.
Now, what do you mean? You got a tie, you're cool. Glancing at Mitsuru's clothing once again, I can't help but sigh. Since I guess I'd already voiced what I wanted to say, I decided not to make a comeback. Mitsuru simply shakes her head and sighs back at me. Seriously, this is what happens when you grow up in a wealthy family, sheltered from the lives that normal people live.
Anyway.
Dang, you call it your best friend? I slam my left fist into my right palm. Aigis' sister unit, Labrys. She's apparently inside a TV located in an obscure part of a country town. I gotta wonder, what else could be waiting for us inside? Hopefully not a bunch of teenagers.
That TV, right? And what are we waiting for?
Still the same Akihiko. We don't know the situation inside yet, and we'll need a secure means of getting out.
So what? If we want to get this Labrys back, someone has to go inside, right?
Well, that's...
Mitsuru is at a loss for words. I know that I'm voicing my opinion more forcefully than she's used to, but it's what I have to do. I know Mitsuru well enough to sense she needs someone to prod her into action. Wanting to exert control over every situation is a commendable trait, but in certain situations, waiting doesn't allow you to seize any more control, and it also gives your opponent more time to prepare.
Our target hijacked a plane to throw her into a TV in this town. If we sit on our hands, it's possible we'll be put in serious danger.
I lock eyes with Mitsuru and take a step towards her.
We're different from how we used to be. We made the choice to fight shadows as professionals. That's why I traveled around the world and trained harder than ever. And now that something's actually come up, you're hesitating? We agreed to do this.
I want to beat something
I'm ready
up.
to stake my life on the mission.
3 years ago, I had said that it was my duty to help in the fight, but looking back on it now, I know that a lot of it was just for kicks. Seeing myself definitively become stronger and experiencing all that personal growth was incredible. Becoming stronger felt like it would satisfy some deep desire within me. And if I died giving my all against a really powerful opponent, I didn't really mind the thought of going out like that either. I was honestly fighting for myself more than anything else. But now, something has changed in me. I wandered around the world with something in the back of my mind constantly nagging at me, something about not having a grasp of some part of myself. I know that I want power, the power to protect others. That feeling has always been there. There's still something else, though, something different. A few seconds of silence passed and Mitsuru's eyes narrow. Her eyes are filled with a steely determination.
All right. Wait right here. I need to go make a phone call first.
Okay, but make it quick.
Mitsuru heads towards the long limousine with a wry smile. I turn my gaze towards the most prominent of the illegal dump TVs. As I reach out towards the screen, my fingers sink into it exactly the same way Aigis' did.
My fists are ready for action.
Excitement wells up within me as a reaction to the new sensation I feel from my fingertips. Loud cutscene time. We're gonna watch it again just cuz.
The other members will wait here in the car.
Yeah, If we all barge in and something happens, we'll be devastated.
Now that you mention it, at least one of us should be staying behind as well.
I am not staying.
You cannot stop me. I am a robot. You will catch these hands.
Us three will be plenty. We'll end this in a flash. No problem.
The same as always. Although, we have no idea what might be waiting for us on the other side. Don't get careless.
Right.
This situation, it brings back memories.
Ready!
Wonder what it would actually feel like to go in. Just like imagine feeling the rippling of the TV.
Why enter the TV?
Thinking now.
What's going on?
Alright. Now we're on the road to finishing this. Because I doubt this one's going to take very long. When I open my eyes again, the first thing I can see is a high ceiling. I get to my feet and look around. Basketball hoops, a ground lined with white tape, and folding chairs stacked high into the air.
Is this a gym?
What I'm seeing now isn't matching what I expected to be seeing. If my memory's correct, I entered the TV with Mitsuru and Aigis. Is this what's inside of the TV? Then it hits me. This isn't reality. Everything looks extremely real, but I sense odd presences nearby. I brace myself in this oddly quiet gym. If I'm the only one here, I must be cautious. I'm alone? I suddenly realize that Mitsuru and Aigis should be here too. They came into the TV with me, but they're nowhere to be seen. Did we get separated from each other as we were falling in? No, it's more likely that we were separated intentionally. Well, I don't really need to worry about them. I'm pretty sure that they'll be able to handle anything in here on their own. Even if something does attack them, those two will just counterattack with executions and machine guns.
This feeling in the air
icicle.
reminds me of somewhere, though.
I felt this harsh atmosphere before. I dug through my memories. That's right. This is what Tartarus felt like. The tower full of shadows where we did battle 3 years ago. Since this area is unfamiliar, and I am assuming hostiles, there's no knowing when an enemy may attack. But waiting around to get ambushed isn't really my thing. It's time for me to get moving. Just as I think that... Teddy? What in the world is that? A bizarre object approaches me from further inside the gym. It's red, blue, and round. On top of that, it's walking on 2 feet. I've wandered all across the globe to different regions, but I've never seen such a bizarre creature as this.
What? There's a weird guy in a cape.
It's a pervert. Weirder still, it's able to communicate with me.
You think you've got the right to call me weird? You seem suspicious.
How rude! I'll say the same back to you. Being half naked and wearing a cape is totally suspicious.
That's sus.
Could this be the pervert I've heard rumors about? My innocence is in danger.
You're making no sense at all. Who are you? Oh, don't tell me. Are you a shadow?
Huh? I'm Teddy. Teddy!
I'm a bear.
So you are a shadow.
I just said I'm Teddy. Teddy! It's easy.
No bear has fur that color, or can talk.
How cruel! I'm an adorable, sexy beast, no matter what angle you're looking from.
Teddy. Does that mean he's different from an ordinary kind of bear? Suddenly, a monitor nearby springs to life. What appeared on it was also red, blue, and round. It's another bear thing, or to be exact, it was also Teddy.
I can't have you wandering about on your own. You're such a troublesome bear. You're the troublesome one! How dare you do whatever you want while looking like me? It's a violation of my image rights!
I'm going to sue you!
What's going on? Are you twins or something?
Huh? I discovered an unknown half-naked caped man! An intruder! Unexpected!
Suddenly, the sound and image of the monitor gets corrupt. Just when I thought I was going to start figuring some things out about this place and those creatures. The screen flickers and dies out. Is this some kind of ruse? The monitor pops back on. Once again, it was Teddy's, this is too confusing. I'm just going to refer to the other TV bear as Bear 2. People in a lot of overseas culture and suffixes like that, like the second or the great, onto their kids' names, so I figured I'll go with something similar. I'm in some crazy TV world, so I'm not just going to assume that these guys are Japanese. Like, Bear number 2 is going to care anyway. I've wasted enough time rationalizing this. Bear number 2's eyes gleam in a sinister manner. He stares, speaking clearly
Case
now.
04, unintended intruder. Entering elimination process.
Elimination, huh? I don't really have any clue on what's going on yet. But I do know that Bear number 2 has just won the right to be the first one here to taste my fist.
I don't know exactly what's going on, but I've seen enough. Looks like you're the enemy here, Bear number 2.
Dang, Akihiko figured it out quick. I'm not sure how much stack I should put in a common sentence while I'm into this TV world. But if he's using a PA system, I'm guessing that there needs to be some kind of control booth for it. Since I'm in since I'm in some kind of school, that means I'm probably going to find Bear number 2 in the announcement room. Flabrus is inside here, and if Bear number 2 is running this whole event, he's got to have some information on her. I turn to Teddy.
As for you, Teddy, he seems to be your enemy too. But why don't you step down and let me handle him?
I proceed to walk off and search for the announcement room. But
No way!
What?
I mean, who are you? You haven't even told me your name. And that bear might be a bad guy who tricked my beloved sensei and friends. I can't leave this in the hands of a half-naked cape man like you.
Teddy looks surprisingly resolute as he refuses my offer. Does he have friends of his own that he's trying desperately to protect too?
Your costume is strange. I do like that fire in your eyes.
What's that supposed to mean? It sounds perverted coming from a half-naked cape guy.
Hey, I have a name. It's Akihiko Sanada.
Akihiko Salami.
Half-naked cape guy. And I know I can't prove I'm on your side just by saying so. So judge for yourself whether I'm worthy of your trust.
Oh, we're gonna beat him up.
In the ring.
You're that excited to do this?
It's time to die.
Don't lie, you know? Now come on, and I'll give you everything I got.
I put my fist out in front of me and focus. If one does not face their cowardice, they cannot summon a persona. That's why persona users used to have to undergo the trial of holding an evoker to their heads. That was simply a ritual to overcome one's psychological blocks. It isn't a required step in wielding personas. No, but it's cool. My resolution has always been within me after all.
Come, persona!
I sense power rising from deep within me. We didn't even have to fight Teddy, and he's picking a fight with Teddy. Alright, I can only imagine this going poorly, because I don't know how to play this guy.
Final. Fight!
This stuff is so delayed between hits. No wonder people play so lame with this guy. I can't like do anything. I feel so stiff. Here, beat me up. I want to see what his finisher is. Teddy.
You're up. Now the time.
I think I messed up. Nope, he's an idiot. Oh, here we come. We're going in. Dude, you just hit him with the Falcon Punch. The Galactic Falcon Punch. Oh, I don't like Akihiko, but he feels so
The
stiff.
intruder is a persona user. Difficulties in elimination. Acknowledging as valid target.
Bear number 2 is muttering something on the other side of the monitor after watching our bout. It seems that I've been officially promoted to the rank of valid target.
Persona user. You talking about me? What do you mean by valid target?
Irregularity has occurred. Multiple intruders detected. Emergency. Emergency.
Time to blow up the school.
Oh, I know. I've just had a fun idea.
Ah hee 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 hee. Ha hoo hoo. Just as bear number 2 starts speaking like a normal person, the monitor suddenly cuts out. Seriously, who is this guy? One thing's for sure, and it's that I need information right now. I lean over Teddy's flattened body and lightly tap the back of his head.
Hey, Teddy, wake up.
No! Kanji! You're crushing me to death!
What's going through this guy's head?
Teddy, wake up!
Smack Teddy a little more forcefully this time. I was worried that it might make him even flatter, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. Oh god. You legit flattened him with the Falcon Punch. It looks like that did the trick. Teddy gets up, using whatever weird stomach muscles he has, and yells at me while still in that flattened state.
Hey! If you hit me so hard, you'll ruin my beautiful coat of fur! I'll go bald!
Bald!
And it's just Teddy, not Teddy!
This is getting to be a pain. Teddy purses his lips and looks away with a huff. I wanted to demonstrate my sincerity with my fists. There's no doubt that I did that. And again, considering how badly flattened he is right now, I guess it's understandable that he doesn't want to talk to me.
Well, maybe I went a little too far. Let me at least talk to you. I have important business here too. I need as much information as I can get.
Aren't you going to say sorry?
Don't push your luck. Or I'll pull out all your fur.
Akihiko never says
I
sorry.
was just joking! Well, I am a knowledgeable bear, so I'll make an exception for you and listen.
Hey, I'm the one who won. Where does he get off with this attitude? Doesn't feel right letting that slide, but I don't want him getting all pouty again. I take a deep breath and turn to face Teddy once more.
First off, what kind of world is this?
It's the TV world.
Well, at least I was right about that. Teddy then went on to explain that there's a mysterious TV program called the Midnight Channel that only appears at midnight. That TV broadcast is caused by this world inside a TV. It seems that Teddy is back to his original appearance, or rather his original thickness. He's like a big stress ball.
That's hard to believe. But even if that's true, why does it look like this? Is this supposed to be a school or something?
This is probably the school that Yosuke and the others go to.
It's a real place?
This world changes whenever someone comes here. I'm not sure why it's a school now, though.
It changes when people come here.
I used to live here for a long time, so I saw it happen a lot.
You lived here? Well, does that mean you're from this world? What are you?
I am a shadow.
That's,
Teddy starts clamming up all of a sudden. He started getting nervous when I blurted out the realization that he was living in this world, and that he wasn't human. Embarrassed about being different from humans, huh? Definitely doesn't look human, but it's easy enough to overlook because he's able to easily carry on a conversation with me. And his fist definitely had a heart. I guess immediately springs to mind. She's a machine, but she also has the same heart as a person. Though this Teddy may be some kind of costume creature, he must have a heart as well. That being said, he does look pretty stupid.
There's so much I don't understand. But I can at least say I'm pretty sure you're no threat.
Of course not. I'd never cause anyone any trouble.
Except Yosuke. I love showing his parents his nurse magazines.
You know this world so well. Does the name 5th Generation Labris sound familiar?
I've never heard of it. Every day's great at June's. I usually spend my time there. But when I came to, I was locked up here. I managed to escape, though, only to find that an imposter Teddy was causing a bunch of trouble with his P1 Grand Prix.
He was bummed out a minute ago, but now his face is bright red and there's steam pouring out of his head. This guy is a real piece of work.
That guy who showed up on screen looked exactly like you.
He calls himself the General. But don't confuse me for that phony. The real Teddy is made of all natural bear fur.
If If that was someone in disguise, there must be a reason he's trying to look like you.
The fact that these two are having a genuine conversation. it's
Ooh, I know. It must
weird.
be because he's jealous that Sensei and everyone love me the most. But he's not 1/1,000,000th as cute as me. Anyone can tell he's a fake.
Yeah, it's totally obvious. I recall what Teddy said about the Midnight Channel earlier. Some of the things that happen in this world are broadcast to the outside world. If that's the case, then misinformation may be spread, and people could be confused or misled. At this moment, I'm not sure why someone would intentionally causing such confusion, but this Teddy guy mentioned that his friends were here. If bear number 2 is the opposition to them, then it's not too big of a stretch to imagine that he's trying to turn them against each other.
Alright, one last question. You said you used to live here. Do you know how to get out?
Of course! That was one of my specialties. I always helped other people when they needed to leave. But it's not working here for some reason. I'm losing my confidence. This is one bear of a Ted-ache.
A Ted-ache.
Ooh,
That's a
that
new
was
one.
an advanced
Yeah.
joke.
This is no laughing matter. You won't be able to get out like this.
That wasn't advanced at all. Sheesh. You did give me valuable information, though. I now have somewhat of a grasp of the situation. My main objectives of retrieving Labrys and escaping from this world. I won't be able to accomplish either of those things as it stands. And all we can really do on our own is speculate. So bear number 2, the general, was it? I'll have to pound some more details out of him. All I need to do is keep moving forward. And if I'm going to move forward, I don't see the harm in doing it quickly.
That's it. You're coming with me.
I'm assuming that I'm probably going to need this guy's help in getting out of here, so I grab the back of Teddy's head and sprint forward. But just as I'm about to exit the gym, Teddy gets completely stuck on something.
You're gonna tear it off!
My mullet! You're gonna rip it! I look behind me and Teddy is wildly flailing his arms around, but I don't see anything holding him back. What kind of trick is this?
Hey! You almost made me lose my head!
Ignoring the huge fuss Teddy's making, I reach over towards where Teddy is stopped, but I don't feel anything. Guess I'll just have to try again. I pull the back of Teddy's head towards me with my full strength. Oh, my bullet. My bear mullet. He's definitely stuck on something. From a moment, it looked like the zipper on Teddy's neck warped. Whatever, it's probably just my imagination.
Huh? Looks like there's a wall that I can get through, but you can't. What a bizarre place this is.
Says the half-naked cake guy who pulled at my head so hard it almost came off!
Oh well, I'll have to leave you here. Make sure you don't go anywhere alone, you hear me?
I can't burn any more time here. As I turn my back towards Teddy to proceed on, his yell echoes inside the gym.
I won't let you abandon me! I get lonely real fast! I'm coming with you!
Wah! An enormous crash reverberates throughout the area. When I turn around, I see a flattened Teddy fluttering on the ground, like a sheet of paper falling off a desk. He must have gotten a running start and slammed right into whatever's there at full force. Did he just run headfirst into an invisible wall without even thinking about how much it would hurt? This guy said that the general is the enemy of his friends, and because his friends are at risk, he can't just leave everything to me. His lack of regard for personal safety may be because he's so worried about his friends. He behaves oddly, but once you look past that, I can totally empathize with him.
Sorry. I'll come back for you when all this is settled.
Just hang tight, Teddy. I know it's a tough situation. I hurry to where the enemy is for my mission and for the sake of Teddy and his friends. I mean, he's got to run into Kanji at some point, right? When I step outside the gym, I hear a cheer from somewhere. The voices seem to be coming from outside the school building. Did a large number of people come into this world? This place is supposed to be a world inside a TV, but this kind of seems like a real school. It feels like an event, like a cultural festival or field day. There's still so much about this place that I don't know. There are many parts of Teddy's explanation that I couldn't grasp. I need first-hand knowledge. I need to see some things with my own eyes. I step out in what looks like school's main gate and check the nameplate.
Yasagami High School. I remember seeing that name in the report on Inaba.
So what Teddy told me was true. This place seems to be based on a high school that actually exists. But why recreate a high school building inside a TV? As I'm taking stock of my surroundings, a high-pitched girl's voice emanates from a nearby speaker.
Ladies and gentlemen, what will the next match be like?
An abrupt and confusing school announcement. Cheers arise from somewhere, seemingly in response to the announcement. I sense the presence of others, and when I look around, I notice silhouettes of students that seem to be watching from all angles. Are they human? They certainly look like they're human, but I don't sense any life in them. No matter where in the world I went, people who were excited about a battle had a certain spark to them, and these guys don't have it.
Wow, this is one fired up crowd. Hi everyone, I, Rizette, will be your commentator. But first, the General would like to say a few words. The mic's all yours, sir.
Would anyone like some car insurance? As if answering the commotion, the monitor set up in the center turns on. That General Teddy appears on the screen.
Well then, I'm proud to announce the opening of our very own P1 Grand Prix! Presenting the manliest of all men! Oh, so you've come this far. I applaud your bravery in not running away.
Still hiding behind a monitor? It's about time you showed up in person. I'll crush you.
Nope, sorry, but I'm not falling for a cheap ploy like that. You better follow the rules. Allow me to explain. The P1 Grand Prix is a one-on-one battle. Those who are paired off must fight. Only the winner may move on.
Only the winner may move on. That invisible wall that Teddy ran into with his face must be part of the contest this guy set up.
Interesting. Who are you gonna make me fight?
A bizarre laugh plays and the image on the screen switches. What showed up next seemed like an odd commercial for a P1 Grand Prix. If someone produced a video like this for the event, does that mean everyone here is a willing participant? From the looks of it, they seem like ordinary students. I just don't think everyday students like this would be involved in hijacking of an airplane and stealing out of Labrador's flight.
Who are they?
I don't have to answer that.
Sorry, but I don't have time to play along. I'm taking back Lapras.
You are?
The general on the screen looked shocked by my words. He'd been evasive or just laughed at everything I said up until now, so this obviously struck my nerve.
Don't think everything's gonna be that easy for you. You all should suffer, and then suffer some more!
I'm not sure what specifically antagonized him, but it seems like he definitely knows something about Labras. You think you can make me suffer, huh? Well, bring it on. I flourish my cape and head into the school building.
It won't be easy, huh?
I think about what the general said a moment ago. Honestly, I can't think of too many times in my life when things went easily. Growing up as an orphan, my memories of losing what was precious to me, I've never gotten too burdened by it, but I've constantly been pitied by others for my misfortunes.
Whatever. I never expected it to be.
The pain of loss is my source of determination. I must stay strong in order to protect those who are precious and by my side right now. I proceed through the school building, and after climbing a number of stairs, I notice something odd. This place is bigger on the inside than it looks on the outside. The hallways don't turn in the directions you'd expect based on how the outside of the school building looks, and the way the classrooms connect with each other is bizarre as well.
This is what I'd figure another world would be like.
This. I reach towards an upcoming corner, and I come into contact with an invisible wall. I see, so this is what prevented Teddy from following me. I couldn't have done much earlier, but now that I can actually touch it, I put all my strength into that strike. Oh, is Chie gonna show up? Is this where this is going? But the wall barely gave it all. If it shakes, that means it's taken some damage. If I keep attacking it, I may be able to break through a portion of it and punch my way out. But I really don't know how much of this whole charade I can break through by destroying these walls. It wouldn't be a smarter way of expending my energy. That's when something catches my eye. A window. When I reach towards it, the invisible wall doesn't impede my progress.
I knew it. Whoever set this up only thought about blocking people's paths. Anywhere there already was a real wall got overlooked.
I'm not obligated to play by the enemy's gimmicks. If they want me to go one way, maybe I can get an advantage by taking a route that they don't expect.
And I'll just go another way.
Put my hand on the window's frame and jump outside. And then this is where Chie would either choose to follow or not follow. I land near a classroom that seems to be partially below ground level. I look through one of the windows through the interior is odd. It looks like it's a music room. The window's closed, but it's still just a glass window. If this was a real school, I'd hesitate to do this, but hey, this is a fake world. I rear back and put my fist through the window.
Whoa!
Yep, there he is. I knew he'd be around. There's someone else already in the room. He's a well-built young man in a school uniform.
You're that guy from the video.
Did you just come falling from up there? What's going on? Answer me!
I remember now. You're the blood-curdling beefsteak emperor.
Hell no, come on! Did you even try to remember my name?
So that P1 Grand Prix thing has already started.
Recall the rule that those who encountered each other must fight. The general said that only the winner can proceed. I decided to see if those rules are still in effect and reach toward the exit of the music group. I feel the same wall I felt earlier barring my path. The same goes for the window I came from. It's irritating that I'll have to follow the rules and fight, but since the walls can't easily be destroyed, I've got no choice. I don't know what kind of circumstances this kanji guy is faced with, but if we're gonna fight, we might as well do it right.
Hey, take off your clothes.
What the hell? How can you ask that straight out?
What's wrong with what I said? Won't it be hard to maneuver wearing that?
Maneuver?
Why is he getting all flustered? His face is red, and maybe he's just not feeling it.
What are you all flustered for? I'm talking about your jacket. If you don't wear it right, it'll get in your way during the fight.
Oh, my jacket? You just said that to begin with? There's no real meaning behind this. It's like just the way I wear it.
It's plain weird.
Says the guy who's half naked except for a cape.
Oh, he does have his evoker. It's on the side of him.
Seriously, you're
That's funny.
ridiculous. It's bad manners to jump out a window like that.
I set up this route for you, and this is how you treat me? The general makes a disgusted face. Seems to be pretty upset about me mucking up his
Sorry to
plans.
say, I've never been big on manners. Too bad things didn't go your way.
We'll see if you can keep that attitude up for long. You must fight whoever you're paired with. Now get started!
I understand that, but I can't attack someone who doesn't have the urge to fight. Turn towards Kanji to spur him on, but his expression is completely different than what it was before. The redness in his cheeks is gone, and there's a fire in his eyes that almost seem murderous. It looks like there was no need for me to worry after all.
You keep saying the weirdest crap. Looks like I'll have to make you leave. Let's get this started, Capey.
What, now you're interested? Alright, come and get me.
You're not really strong anyway. Just a fake. Nothing worthy about it.
What's that supposed to mean?
Shut up! Why not ask yourself that?
No, he's getting
Goes.
lied to. The faster I can get through Akihiko, the better. Because I don't want to play as him.
Finally! Fight!
You ain't bad. Take
Your style, slut.
Get away. Take this. You ain't bad.
I can't do anything. His hits are just so weird. It's like I'm locked into like what I do.
Nothing. No way. The hell? Take this. Nothing.
Hit him with a falcon punch. Take a deep breath next to the collapsed kanji to lower my heart rate and wind down for the battle. Then I calmly re-examined my surroundings. During the battle I had noticed that the spectating students had changed into something completely different. They're not humans, they're silhouettes shaped like people, or something. I don't know why they're showing their true forms now, but that's fine. If they're not human, then there's no need to worry about them. I'll just leave them be. If they happen to turn hostile, I can easily crush lifeless creatures like that. Kanji regains consciousness. He's recovered much more quickly than I was expecting.
It's amazing. So this is what you meant by going at it with nothing to hide.
When did I say that?
You're one passionate guy. Guess you're no ordinary pervert.
Since when am I a pervert?
Kanji flashes a bright smile that's different from the one he displayed during the fight. Anger and hatred have fled his body entirely. Now that the fight is over, it seemed like he's got spirit.
Ow! Man, for a dream, this sure hurts. Huh? That's weird. How come a dude I've never met before is here in my dream?
A dream? What are you talking about? Aren't we inside the TV world?
Huh?
The TV world. If you can dream with your eyes open, I'm pretty impressed.
What? You're inside the TV? I seriously thought this was all a dream!
Doesn't seem like Kanji's acting. He honestly seems to think that this entire thing was all a dream. I thought that the people in that promo video were related to the general, but maybe everyone here was actually dragged into this by force. If so, I can't abandon the others who were in that video either.
Hey, do you have any idea who the other people in that video were?
They were pretty much all my friends, but... Oh, crap.
Kanji clutches his head as something occurs to him. This seems quite serious.
This was a dream, so I kinda sorta beat the snot out of a couple of them.
Ooh.
Well, if they lost to someone who was half asleep, they'll just have to suck it up.
You think so? Things are just that black and white to you, huh?
Seriously? I thought there was going to be some important information. This Kanji guy has been yanked out of his normal life into this weird situation, yet he seems oddly biased about it. Or blaze, I
a
don't know.
dream. Then Ted and Rise are really hosting it?
General Teddy. The other Teddy said that he was a fake.
A fake? You're kidding me! How'd he make such a perfect copy of the bear suit?
That's the part you're hung up on?
Yeah. They're hardly twisted bastards who enjoy watching friends crush each other.
You seem pretty sure of your friends.
Man, the things I went through with those guys. And here I thought you were a pervert who wasn't listening to a word I said. Guess I had you figured wrong.
Looks like this guy's having a tough time just changing to the way he thinks about me. Maybe he's just an idiot. The way his expression changes to that honest and relieved look when he's talking about his friends, it seems he has friends that he can really trust. If we'd met under less dangerous circumstances, I wouldn't mind sitting around and chatting with him for a bit. But I have a duty to attend to right now.
By the way, have you heard the name Labris anywhere? She's supposed to be somewhere in here.
Huh? Lab rat?
Lab rat?
I see. If you don't know, don't worry about it.
And with that, I leave Kanji and begin walking towards the door. Kanji calls out and stops
Hey,
me.
wait a second! You haven't told me anything about you! Who are you? What did you come inside the TV for?
There's no point in explaining.
What?
Kanji attempts to stop me, but he changes his mind. His expression tells me that he's not satisfied with this outcome, but he swallows his frustration and takes a seat on the ground. Since he's fought against a number of other people already, he must understand that he can't proceed on because he lost. Kanji looks directly into my eyes and speaks
Well,
up.
I was the loser here, so I can't complain. This isn't a dream, and my friends are in trouble.
That's all you need to say? I answer with a smile.
I know. I won't let anything happen to him.
The way you fought says it all. You can't throw punches like that without a shitload of training. You can feel your determination behind every one.
Yeah, the same's true for you. Good work.
Praise exchanged after trying to beat each other senseless. We have a moment that only those who have just brawled against each other can share. Kanji's skills are exceptional for a high school student. When I was in the boxing club, there was only a handful of guys who could stand to trade blows with me just like he did. Considering that he's this good with self-taught fighting skills, there's no question that he'd become an unparalleled fighter if he had proper training.
You should be careful. My friends are hella strong, you know?
It'd be a shame if he was gonna become a toy maker.
If you're not careful, you'll be eating pavement.
Was that supposed to be a genuine warning for me? Or was that a boast about how great his friends are? Either way, I can understand the feeling behind his words, so I smile back at him.
I don't know about that. My fists can't be stopped that easily.
There's nothing more I need to say to Kanji. I turn and begin running down the hallway. Sometime after parting ways with Kanji,
It's pointless.
I'm still wandering aimlessly through the school building. I have no idea if the path I'm taking right now is correct or not, because the invisible walls keep getting in my way. I spot another window and reach towards it.
Guess they fixed that little loophole.
It didn't take them very long to put invisible walls over the windows. Just as I put my hand back, the PA system blares.
No more breaking the rules. Seriously, why can't some people follow simple directions?
You act like I ever intended on following your rules.
fact that they've gone to the trouble to correct their oversight means that limiting our movement must be very important to them. They don't want to let us escape. So that probably means that there's something waiting for us that they've placed there for me. I follow the path dictated to the invisible walls until I reach a classroom. Is this where they wanted me to go?
Akihiko, you're all right.
I gotta beat up
Then
Mitsuru?
again, seeing you isn't necessarily cause for celebration. If we're both here in one place, that means...
Yeah, looks like it.
Who I found inside the classroom was none other than Mitsuru. Normally running into her would be a great relief since it would give me a capable ally, but since the stupid P1 rules are in effect, this isn't the case here.
So, you're my next opponent.
This is exactly what the enemy wanted.
When Mitsuru makes this bitter declaration, the monitor inside the classroom turns on. I already knew who I'd be seeing. It's the general.
Ta-da! Well, this is about to get real interesting.
It's time to fight for the child. We're not married or have kids.
Friends, I hope you two enjoy it to the fullest.
Is that supposed to upset us? Can you believe this guy, Mitsuru?
Certainly is an unwanted battle between friends. I have no intention of fighting against Mitsuru, but we both understand what needs to be done in order to accomplish the mission. There's no way we could allow a little something like this to shake our resolve. But oddly, when I look back towards Mitsuru, I see her looking at me with pity.
Sorry, Akihiko. I believe I may have driven you into a corner.
Huh? What do you mean?
I should have realized much sooner. It's not strength you truly desire. What you really want is to forget your fear of losing others. That's why you throw yourself so fervently into your training. It's a twisted form of escape. At the very least, you can allow me to put an end to such things.
Forget my fears of losing others, huh? As Mitsuru well knows, I have lost countless things up until now. And that anxiety that I've buried somewhere in my heart may strike at me at any moment. But the Mitsuru I know wouldn't bring up something like that at a time like this. It'd be obvious to my friend, to any friend of Mitsuru. There's something going on here.
Teddy and Kanji also started getting personal before the fight. Is this some kind of trick?
I've got no idea what you're talking about. Sounds to me like she means it.
I don't know what you're up to here, but you're gonna have to try harder. It's fine though. I'll just take this chance to enjoy some serious sparring.
Those who encounter one another must fight, and only the victor may proceed. Since this rule still stands, we've got to fight. They've removed any choice we had. I turned to face Mitsuru
There were
once
a bunch
again.
of people I wanted to fight once I got back to Japan, to test my skills. And you were at the top of the list, Mitsuru.
Jeez.
Didn't think I'd get a chance so soon, though.
I mean, I get you respect her strength, but like, you know, you're best friends. I wouldn't want to just fight her. Mitsuru takes her stance without saying a word. The tension of battle sends a tingle through all the muscles in my body.
Here goes, Akihiko.
Come and get me, Mitsuru!
I wonder where Junpei stands on his list. Oh, Mitsuru is actually older than Akihiko. She's 4 months older.
Final.
Oh, this is gonna be rough. She's stunting on me. Oh my god, she's actually playing the game. That was the first time I've ever seen the CPU actually like try to combo me. Time to get Falcon punched. The battle is over. He glanced down at Mitsuru. She keeps the firm expression and opens her mouth.
I yield. Your skills have improved tremendously, Akihiko.
Yours too. I was really worried there that you might execute me.
Mitsuru gives me a wry smile. That's the Mitsuru I know. So her odd behavior prior to the fight was all the general's work. I wondered.
Mitsuru, what did I say to you before the fight?
Huh? Why do you ask? As I recall, you said some unkind things about my late father.
I knew it. Of course I have no memories of saying anything like that because I didn't. The general's probably got some trick that warps the opponent's reality so that good friends will hate each other. Maybe it was all an illusion. I don't understand how it all works, but there's one thing that I'm absolutely certain of. Mitsuru and I turn towards the monitor and smugly smile at the general. The little gimmick was completely useless. General Teddy can barely contain his hatred as he responds.
How can you fight without holding back like that? People hesitate more when they face their friends. They break down. They suffer. So how come you aren't suffering?
Suffer!
Why?
Do it!
I don't understand.
I'm not surprised. Anyone who needs to trick people to get his way wouldn't understand. Our bonds aren't that flimsy.
We fought the god of death, you know. After the general glowers at us, the communication cuts off. I feel like it's meant to say glares. Suffer, huh? The general was going on about making us suffer earlier. Is that why he has us all fighting here, to make us suffer? Then why would he steal Labras?
Akihiko, let's compare notes. I want to confirm our situation.
Right. Although I don't have much for you.
I give her a summary of everything I've figured out up to this point. Since Mitsuru's persona has search abilities, I'm sure she's been able to gather much more information than I have. She seems to already know everything that I discovered, so Mitsuru then fills me in on what she's learned. I guess it's safe, though neither of us have encountered her. All the high school students in the commercial seem to be persona users, and the general seems to be gathering persona users into this world. Unfortunately, neither of us knows what his intentions are. More importantly, where's Labras?
Did you find Labras?
Iga seems to have made contact with her. She seems to be calling herself the student council president of the school. In fact, she's going so far as to play the part.
Play the part?
She seems to be unaware that she entered a TV. It's possible that someone forced her in here, but that doesn't explain why she's acting out a role in school life.
I have no idea what could be about or what that could be about right now. This place is a school, but it's still just a copy of a school in another world. What kind of school life could possibly be here?
And one more thing. I heard a strange voice. I'm not certain, but it's most likely Labras. Either her inner thoughts or her memories. It was a voice of deep sorrow, suffering, sadness. It was so vivid I wanted to cover my ears.
Mitsuru cast down her eyes as if reliving the pain. A great portion of Ergo Research's data was lost because of the actions of a former researcher. He was the mastermind behind the events 3 years ago. All this must be mortifying for Mitsuru. The man is the reason why her family was taken from her.
If that was truly Labras, then she's practically human. She may not be that far behind Igus in terms of mimesis.
Mimesis? Nemesis?
Sure, Igus's sister unit would have a mind. But does that mean the older version is more advanced?
Doesn't seem likely, but I can't say for certain. Still, I'm only speculating, but I feel like her deeply negative emotions are connected to this tournament.
Connected how?
Do you really think Labras was stolen? The general seemed to want to make us suffer rather than eliminate us. Would a thief wish for that? Or draw in unrelated high school students?
I see. That General Teddy's actions do seem in line with what Labras wants. He actually may in fact be Labras.
It's possible that Labras regained consciousness much earlier and escaped when she was being transported.
And she took the van and drove away. I can't deny that possibility right now, but there is something else I do know.
Mitsuru, you're doing your brow furrowing thing again.
What does this got to do with anything?
That doesn't matter right now.
You're overthinking things. All this conjecture and speculation will drive you nuts. Let's pick this up again once we defeat the enemy.
Mitsuru's always been like this. She imagines worst-case scenarios that haven't even happened yet, and burdens herself coming up with contingency plans based on them. Even though she doesn't necessarily stop moving forward, it certainly does weigh her down. Sometimes we need that hard-headedness, but there's a time and place for it.
Ever think that maybe it's you who's underthinking things?
Anyway, there's no time to lose right now. You know where the enemy is, right?
Yes, I've traced its location. It should be nearby. I will leave the rest to you, Akihiko. Don't disappoint me, alright?
As Mitsuru says those words, her expression softens a bit. It seems that I've been able to reach her.
Of course not.
Mitsuru has grown as well. She's changed since the battle 3 years ago. And I think about it, a lot of time has passed since then. None of us have remained stuck in the past. We've all changed. I part ways with Mitsuru and hurry on ahead. According to Mitsuru's search, the enemy seems to be nearby. The enemy is waiting for us to further encounter with us as well. Well, that's one wish I don't want mine. That's one wish I won't mind granting at all. Just as I reach the top of the stairs, a loud noise punctuates the atmosphere. Is someone on a rampage with their persona? No, that's not it. It's the sort of sound that a massive object creates upon impact. I hear it again coming from the room ahead. There are no invisible walls that prevent me from making my way towards the sound, and I finally reach my destination.
The announcement room. Here we go.
The monitors and PA system must have been controlled from this room. I grab the door handle, but it won't open. This is different from those invisible walls, however. It's just an ordinary door. So if there's a broadcast going on, but I'm going to have to punch my way in. I smash through the door and enter the room.
Whoa! It's that red cape guy I saw earlier!
Was it Chie in here when Akihiko punched Kanji in? I think it was. Everyone inside immediately wheels around to face me. There are 2 female students before me. One of them I recognize from the video, but the other is an unfamiliar face. It's my first time seeing her, but I immediately know who she is. She looks just like a regular person aside from all of her mechanical parts. It's Labras. And General Teddy.
So it wasn't Labras after all.
Immediately, General Teddy, who's glaring at me, begins to change. My head.
I am a shadow. The true self.
No, Shadow.
Another Labras.
Yeah, it's the same image, just without kanji in it. Well, this is completely unexpected. I can't even come up with a reason for why something like this would occur. Maybe this is another one of his illusions. No, if that were true, what I'm seeing would be a more direct assault on my inner thoughts. I started inventing and discarding possible reasons for what's happening. Eventually, I just cast aside all my theories. I take a deep breath and calm myself. What is my objective? I was summoned to retrieve Labras and to prevent any danger from spreading. It doesn't matter if there's 1, 2, or 20 of her either. My initial objectives are unaffected, and I will give everything I have to complete my mission.
Fine. I'll just calm them both down.
Look at Chie's face. It's like you can't even see like the detailing in her eye, so it just looks like her eyes are like lifeless. She looks like a fish. Thanks to the hostility directed at me, I smile, eager for a fight. To be continued. That wasn't that much shorter, but it was a little shorter. Alright, well, time for Aegis. So she's probably going to run into Narukami at the end.
Are you awake?
I'm sorry. I had turned off my consciousness to test the new equipment installed on me.
Yes, that's why we use the emergency channel. We have been asked to go into action.
Has something happened? Who sent the request?
We'll brief you on the details in transit. Also, regulations say that the member with the lowest serial number is in command. Currently, that's you.
I'm in command? Are you sure about this? After all, I'm...
You're well suited for it, in my opinion.
Understood.
Plane. May 1st, 2012, 9:30. Men equipped with assault suits and tactical vests line concrete ground. Their urban camouflage and unmoving poses give them the appearance of an orderly line of rocks. 30 minutes have passed since the special assault team took up their position on the landing strip surrounding the stopped passenger plane. Their captain glares at the plane before he slowly turns around and looks at each of his men. Every last one wears ski masks and thick tactical visors to mask their identities, but he knows them nonetheless.
Tell me about the situation and make it quick.
Look at this guy. He's got a portrait. One of the team members steps forward. The touchscreen tablet in his right hand has a summary of the case on it. On May 1st, 2012, around 0900 hours, a wide-body passenger aircraft headed for Kagoshima sent out a 7,500 squawk code during passenger boarding. Following the signal, the captain reported to the control tower that their aircraft had been hijacked. Since the uprising occurred during passenger boarding, only half of the passengers, 168 exactly, had boarded. The 10 crew members bring a total of 178 hostages thought to be on board. Some passengers seated near the hatch had succeeded in escaping. The following points were gained from questioning them. Take care not to be seen by the hijackers. There are 3 hijackers, all of them are covering their faces with ski masks. All of them are armed with what seems to be pistols. From their voices and builds, they appear to be males. They all spoke fluent Japanese. Currently, the aircraft in question is moved to the front of the landing strip at the hijackers' insistence and stopped there. The authorities have attempted to negotiate with the hijackers by the radio, but they have made no demands. The team member finishes his report. The captain nods silently and addresses his team.
There hasn't been a plane hijacked in this country in over 10 years. None of us, not even me, have dealt with this before. Still, the procedure remains the same. Trust yourself, remember your training, and keep a cool head.
The captain turns towards the plane again. Taking that as a cue, the team scatters to their specified posts to take up positions. The only thing to do now is to see what happens. Eventually, 10 o'clock comes around. Half an hour has passed with no new developments. Repeated attempts to contact the hijackers have been made, but they have yet to make any demands. Tensions are beginning to rise. The worst scenario is that they have no need to make demands, that their objective is to seize the passenger plane itself. In this case, the team would be facing a large-scale terrorist attack.
Come on, talk to us.
The captain mutters to himself, deep in thought. From the perspective of rescuing the hostages, every second that passes without learning the hijacker's objective is a second wasted. The captain and his team can wait in hiding, but the same is not true for the passengers on board. For untrained civilians, the extreme stress can easily lead to physical and mental problems. It's true not only for the hostages, but for the hijackers as well. When people lose their nerve, they tend to act rashly. The hostages will begin to lose hope, and hijackers will begin taking it out on the hostages. An hour into the incident, anything could be happening inside the plane. The captain could do nothing but glare as the time ticked by. After 15 more minutes had passed, a slight change in the situation was reported. All emails and calls going through stations near the airport are being checked, but at the moment no messages are thought to have been sent from inside the plane. It appeared that the hijackers had confiscated all cellular phones as per standard hijacking plans, but...
Sir, there's a report from HQ. They picked up a transmission from one of the passenger's cell phones. It's a smartphone with GPS, so they can tell it's inside the plane.
Confirm those details for me.
There are 2 possibilities. The hijackers are using a passenger's phone to contact associates outside, or a passenger is contacting someone in secret. The latter possibility is more likely. More and more devices have communication capabilities now, making it extremely difficult for hijackers to remove them entirely from play. And the more hostages there are involved, the more courageous they become, and the more likely they are to take risks. Fortunately, more hostages involved means it's all the more dangerous to provoke the hijackers. Each individual hostage is worth less to them. The details of the transmission make it apparent that the situation is worse than the team had assumed. The cell phone's owner is a man in his 60s in first class. He signed up for a certain service after being diagnosed with a heart illness. It's a remote EKG monitoring service that keeps track of the patient's heartbeat. A scheduled message was automatically sent from the patient's cell phone. The service provider promptly contacted the police, informing them that the man was in a bad shape.
Man's life is at stake if we don't wrap this up within the hour. Looks like we can't stall for time.
A As panic spreads, a proposal for negotiation based on this fact and a proposal to storm the plane are both considered. But because only half the passengers had boarded, the situation inside the plane is uncertain, making devising a tactical plan difficult. Though if nothing is done, a passenger will surely succumb within the hour. A blunder like that must be avoided at all costs. That was the thinking that guided the police officials to make their decision. That same day at 10:30.
What? Withdraw? This is a hijacking! What are you thinking withdrawing our people? Yes, I understand.
Wait, what's going on?
Orders are orders. We'll fall back at once. Get ready.
No one understood the sudden withdrawal order. Why withdraw the team during a hijacking? No one on the scene agreed with the decision, but the order could not be overturned. The men here are not the brain, but limbs whose power is best to put use by precisely following orders. Just then, another group approaches without a sound. Its members are dressed differently in suits and trench coats, but all of them are wearing black and sunglasses. What a song. At a glance, it is clear that they are tall, well-built, and used to rough situations. With nearly 20 of them gathered in one place, they are imposing despite their silence. They don't seem to be airport personnel, but neither are they known to the police. But the captain senses they're in the same line of work and approaches.
Who are you?
His voice is laced with suspicion, but the man at the head of the group speaks dispassionately as if he'd heard nothing.
For the next half hour, we're in command of this scene.
You didn't answer the question. Who's responsible for this?
The captain's tone unconsciously hardens. The group of men in black parts and one of their number in the rear steps forth. The captain can't stop himself from furrowing his brow. He can already sense the unrest spreading amongst his team, who watches in silence. The one stepping forward looks like a 17 or 18-year-old girl. She is dressed in black and wears sunglasses like those around her, but her slender build is out of place. Her blonde hair stands out even more in contrast to all the black outfit. The girl walks a few more steps forward and removes her sunglasses. The captain had intended to appraise the look in her eyes, but only gasps in the face of her crystalline blue. He quickly regains himself and frowns.
So you're the one in charge?
Yes.
Are you shitting me?
There is no time to waste quarreling.
The girl looks at him fearlessly despite the armed team surrounding her. The absurdity of it all is what helps the captain get over his surprise. Her age and appearance are most likely meaningless. She is clearly no ordinary girl.
Are you not even going to tell me who you're with?
I cannot.
So you expect me to hand over control of the scene to you without even telling me who the hell you are?
I know this guy's voice, but I can't, match it to anything off the top of my head.
I believe orders to withdraw have already been issued.
Her calm, sweet voice only irritates him. The captain closes the distance to the girl, and while he stops short of grabbing her suit, he glares into the blue eyes from only inches away.
I don't know what kind of juice you have with the brass, but are you ready to be responsible for the deaths of those passengers?
Your protests are doing nothing to relieve the danger. Rescuing them as soon as possible is our duty.
The girl is completely unruffled as she speaks. It's like she's a machine or something. The captain thinks, more dumbfounded than angry.
Have faith in us. We too wish to save them.
For the first time, something like determination flickers with those crystalline eyes. After looking into them, the captain finds something akin to resolve and confidence in them. He steps back. Raising his right hand to his chest, he shows the girl his watch.
Right. But you got exactly 30 minutes and not a second more.
Understood.
After the girl nods, she gives instructions to prepare a stair car to the group she is leading. The captain's fist tightens nervously. Since there are few uses for a stair car, quietly moving in a place may make the hijackers think that a strike team is getting ready to storm the plane. There's no hesitation in the girl's actions.
Well then, move in as naturally as possible while staying in their blind spots.
Eventually, a roofless stair car advances slowly towards the passenger plane.
Closest we can get without them noticing will be about 10 meters from the plane.
That will be more than enough.
More than enough? What's the point doing it like that? The captain's annoyance begins to turn to curiosity. If she is replacing the SAT, then she must have a plan beyond simple brute force, but...
Now, let's begin.
The stair car stops. The girl gets out of the driver's seat. She walks slightly behind the vehicle, turns towards the passenger planes, and squats down.
What's she doing?
The captain brings up a pair of binoculars to see what she will do. At first, he assumes she is going to use the stair car's movement as a decoy and send her team in from a different direction. Like humans, most vehicles have significant blind spots above and underneath. Yet, that doesn't seem to be her plan. Does she plan to make her move while using the stair car as cover? Is she possibly going to snipe them? The captain discards the possibility. It would be foolish to set up a sniper perch at a lower angle of an elevation, where the girl is now. While the captain mulls over the question, the girl makes an unexpected move. She appears to lower her stance slightly one moment, and in the next she is no longer in sight. By the time the captain realizes she is running, she has already reached the top of the stair car. Her slender body launches like a cannonball from the top of the stairs.
What? She jumped?
I guess no, you have so much to live for. Even the SAT members voice their surprise. The girl's leap arcs a distance over 10 meters. It's clearly beyond the abilities of a human being. Coming in the middle of a hijacking, the scene seems even more surreal. The girl lands on top of the aircraft and stands as if nothing unusual had happened. She looks at the aircraft beneath her and slowly turns her head to scan it from back to front. It reminds the captain of the movement of a security camera. He knows it should be impossible, but he wonders if she can see through the plane's ceiling. Eventually, the girl seems convinced of something and begins walking. When she reaches the boarding hatch at the front, she moves her right hand over to her back. The captain notices that a special knife coated gray from blade to hilt is in her hand.
What's she gonna do with that knife?
The girl suddenly lowers her stance and slides down the side of the aircraft. Just as she's about to fall, she thrusts the knife into the jamb of the hatch and dangles it.
This is crazy.
She then uses her left hand to pull the handle and unlocks the hatch with ease. Once the thick, airtight door juts out from the aircraft, the girl nimbly jumps into the plane. The captain is shocked by her dauntless methods. He begins to wonder if she intends to defuse the situation on her own. The captain lowers the binoculars and faces the reality before him with his own eyes. Who in the world is she? The doubt he had dismissed will rise within him again. A warning light goes on in the cramped cockpit. Two people there notice it at first. One of them is the captain sitting in the pilot's seat. The other is the man holding a gun to the back of the captain's head. The light is labeled hatch open. Even an amateur can understand what it means. The man suddenly tenses and stands ready at the passenger side door. He prepares himself for someone to charge in through it. But he quickly regains composure and turns the gun back on the captain. The man casts irritated glances back and forth between the captain and the door for a while, but eventually approaches the door, his gun pointed at the captain. He cautiously cracks open the door and looks towards the passenger seat. Just outside the cockpit is the first class section, but the passengers were gathered in the economy class. At the time of the hijacking, first class is empty. The man squints. To ward off observations or worse, snipers, the window covers were down. Coming into the dark plane from the bright cockpit forces his eyes to adjust. But from the corner of his eye he sees a gleam of light shining, and that's unlike the regular ones. And within that light is a silhouette. Before you can react, the silhouette figure closes the distance. A hand grabs the edge of the door and opens it with tremendous force. Two quick, heavy blows follow. The man collapses without a sound. The captain turns around and surprised to see the intruder, a blonde girl with an index finger to her lips signaling science. She first lays the man on the ground and then removes the pistol from his hand. In closer inspection, it is only a model gun, supplemented with metal parts. The seam between the parts is in different places compared to a real gun. If taken apart, the disassembled pieces would look nothing like a real pistol. The girl then takes handcuffs from a small pouch on her waist and fastens the man's arms to a seat near the window. Even if he wakes up, he will be unable to stand. Though the captain still looks as if he wishes to say something, the girl's eyes mute his and insists on silence as she leaves. The curtain dividing first class and the economy class is above. The girl hides herself behind it and peeks through. There's a man in each of the aisles on the left and the right. Neither seem to have noticed him. The passengers and cabin crew are crammed into the seats in the back. Everyone's placement matches the readings of what her heat sensors picked up from above the plane. Both remaining hijackers are closer to first class. The man closest to her is only a few steps away. She judges that she can easily be disabled if she moves quickly. They both carry pistols, but they are the same type as the downed hijacker. From what she can see, these two are mere model guns. The girl swiftly pushes aside the curtain and grabs the closer man's right wrist. The hijacker, caught off guard by the sudden appearance of such a slender girl, stops up moving for a moment. He surrenders any chance of victory he may have had. With a pained cry, he drops the pistol to the ground. The girl uses her grip on the right hand to put him on the ground, then smoothly pulls out another pair of handcuffs and locks his arms to the passenger seat. The man thrashes about, but despite his struggle, he is no better than a worm writhing on the ground. The last hijacker finally recovers from his shock and aims his gun. The girl pulls a button from the other man's sleeve and flicks it toward her opponent's face. The button travels at immense speed through, though it is launched only from her fingers. The man tries to shield his face, but he is too late. He groans in pain when the projectile strikes his forehead. The girl does not let the opportunity pass. She easily jumps over 3-seat-wide center block of seats with one arm and grabs the man's right hand. There, she repeats the same procedure she used before. Their weapons are immediately seized while they are restrained on the floor. The passengers are only now grasping what's happening before their eyes. A murmuring chorus rises.
Do not be alarmed. I have come to rescue you. Your safety has not been secured yet.
Just when I thought Mitsuru had a lot of reading.
Remain in your seats.
The passengers erupt in a cheer. There's a sporadic applause as well, but there's a slightly hysterical thing to it, in reaction to the tension of the situation.
Excuse me. We were told someone requires medical assistance for their chronic heart illness. His name is...
Just as the girl approaches the center of the plane, she senses a male passenger stand up from his seat. He is extremely calm and quiet as he does so. The girl belatedly picks up on the incongruity. All the other passengers are nervous. It is then that she feels something hard pressing up against the back of her head. She knows without looking that it is the muzzle of a gun. Nearby passengers' cries of relief suddenly turn to screams.
I am impressed with your judgment to stay hidden until an opportunity arose.
The girl is unperturbed as she continues to look straight ahead. The man stays silent and keeps the pistol pressed against her head. She knows there is no danger of being shot, but she is not yet sure that he was the only one hiding. Left with no choice, the girl accedes to his demands and moves forward. After about 10 steps, another man steps up as expected.
And you too.
The man doesn't answer. He slowly approaches from the front. The girl is now sandwiched from front and back. At that moment, footsteps sound from beyond the curtain leading to the first class. The two culprits both react at once, but it is too late. Over 10 men in black rush in at once from beyond the curtain. While the girl had drawn the hijacker's attention with the scuffle, the stair car had closed in. First, they pinned down the man standing in front. The narrow passage gives the man behind her a short reprieve, but it doesn't last long. The moment he lowers the hand gripping the pistol in order to escape, the girl grabs his waist. So focused was he on the man who burst onto the scene that he forgot about the threat of the girl's pose. He is immediately tripped and restrained once he falls on his back. The girl stands up and looks around. If there were any more hijackers inside the plane, this would be their last chance to make a stand. But no one rises from their seats. She glances towards the men in black and they nod back in acknowledgement. It seems the crisis has been averted. The girl carefully keeps her thoughts from appearing on her face and gives an inner sigh of relief. Soon afterward, the sweeper team gives a report confirming that the aircraft is secure. The girl works with the cabin crew to arrange transport for the man with the heart illness before she steps out for a moment. She stands on the stair car and turns on a blue designator light, waving it in circles towards the SAT position. It is the signal that the crisis is over.
She's done already?
God, I didn't know I was reading a whole novel today. On receiving the sign, the SAT on standby start talking amongst themselves.
It hasn't even been 5 minutes. There should have been at least 3 hijackers.
You know what they remind me
Oh,
of?
there's
Those
5.
guys. Like Men in Black or something.
Men in Black.
Captain, who are those people? Is that one even human?
The captain sighs with reluctance.
This is just a rumor, but I've heard that the higher-ups formed an unofficial security group in conjunction with a certain corporation.
Well, at least I don't have to read this.
It's supposedly for cases that are a little strange. I hear they have some official standing with the police, too. Though it's all some private enterprise, so technically there's no authority involved at all.
I wonder if that one on the right, looking backwards, is Junpei, because he's got a backwards hat.
What? But this is Japan we're talking about.
A search and destroy unit that answers to no department and keeps no records. I've heard them called Shadow Operatives.
He turns on his own blue light as a signal of understanding and waves it left and right. The response light comes from up ahead. The girl then sees the captain spreading his arms in a shrug and smiles for the first time. She feels slightly bad for them. Her team may have shamed them, though they have done nothing wrong. I should apologize to them later. But then, out of the corner of the girl's eyes near the entrance of the luggage cart at the corner of the building, a figure catches her attention.
A girl?
She's wearing the same dress Igus was when she first appeared. The girl seems to be about her age and is wearing a plain cape-like dress. For some reason, her appearance feels unsettling. To begin with, given the heightened security, the parking entrance should be strictly sealed, yet the figure looks like a civilian.
May I check on something?
The girl calls to the SAT captain over the radio. Noticing some slight interference, she looks down to adjust the frequency dial.
What is it?
If you look towards my left, in front of the luggage loading bay is...
But during the moment she looked away, the figure
That can't be.
The girl looks around, but the figure is nowhere to be seen. Where could she have gone in this open space with nowhere to hide?
What's the matter?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was apparently seeing things.
It must have been the wind. The girl shuts the radio off. Who was that just now? Was I truly seeing things? With those questions in mind, the girl tries to remember the figure's appearance in detail. Only then does she realize the cause of her unease. That light blue dress the figure wore, it was very similar to the one she herself had once. It reminds her of those days when she did not yet have a heart. Is this JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? No. This is, Men in Black. The girl puts those thoughts aside and returns to the aircraft. The mission does not end with taking the culprit into custody. In truth, along with defusing the situation, securing the safety of one particular passenger was her highest priority. This fact was not revealed to the SAT. The passenger was originally seated in first class, but would have been forced to move. The girl looks carefully through the restless passengers. It is not long before she finds the face she seeks. Looking relieved, the girl walks toward the passenger in question.
Are you alright, Mitsuru-san?
I guess. I didn't think you'd be the one to come.
You thought it was the men in white. No, it's the woman in white. The woman who answers has long, shining hair that would make an impression on anyone. Even sitting quietly in her seat, her refined appearance makes her stand out. But Agus knows the woman well.
In fact, I was surprised to be called on to deal with something like this. The suspects made no demands. What were they after? At first, I thought I was summoned because you were their target, Mitsuru-san.
The higher-ups must have thought the same thing and panicked. Especially considering there's cargo on that plane they wouldn't want made public. Wait a second, that cargo...
Is something wrong?
This hijack seems strange now that I think about it. They made their move before takeoff, which is odd timing.
You thought it was red
and they forced the boarding announcement to be stopped. I thought maybe it was their way of trying to pull it off with a small team.
Are you saying that rather than a passenger, they were after that cargo?
They were after our cargo, not the cargo.
It's true that no one would consider the unloaded luggage during a hijacking.
I guess I need you to check on my things. Though if I'm right, it's already too late.
In response, Igus instructs her team via radio to secure all luggage transport routes. Moreover, she requests a search to ensure that no cargo had been taken.
Even if you're right, why would they be interested in your belongings?
I don't know, maybe because her belongings have this, like, mysterious air about them?
My usual cargo wouldn't be worth hijacking a plane over. But I was carrying something sensitive this time.
I thought it was blue and white. No, that's... I mean, it is blue and white. You see, you got Mitsuru's coat and Igus's blue eyes.
Normally, if they wanted it, they'd have to bypass a Kirijo facility's security or attack the vehicle transporting
keep talking,
it.
So I don't have to read.
But by doing it this way, they can divert the entire country's attention with a few model guns.
Mitsuru smiles. Igus can tell that she is impressed with their audacities despite herself.
Mitsuru-san's cargo. Sensitive belongings for a vacation. I understand. Hijacking a plane out of a desperate desire for undergarments. This incident will surely go down in history.
I don't think that's what happened. Mitsuru's eyes bulge at the unexpected comment.
What? You're jumping to conclusions. It's not sensitive in that way. Besides, my underwear is in this bag and... That's it. Enough about underwear.
They must have been here for Mitsuru's underwear. She forces a cough and steers the conversation back on track.
More accurately, my cargo contained items from Ergo Research. My trip to Kagoshima was partly vacation, but also to oversee their transferal to Yakushima.
The official name of Ergo Research is the Kirijo Ergonomics Research Lab. Both Mitsuru and Igus have many bitter memories associated with the name. A pall hangs in the air. But a radio transmission from one of Igus' team cuts the moment short.
Igus speaking. I see. Understood.
Mitsuru looks at Igus questioningly and she nods.
It's as you suspected. They found that one of the boxes scheduled for transport has gone missing.
I thought as much.
With a small sigh, Mitsuru rises from her seat.
We must get it back, Igus. The rest of the team can finish up here. I need you to come with me.
Igus inspects Mitsuru's face carefully.
Will you be joining the search as well?
Well, I am personally involved, so yes.
In other words, you will officially rejoin the unit and participate in this mission. To be more direct, is it accurate to say that you are abandoning your vacation?
Mitsuru sighs with some exhaustion. Igus interprets her silence as approval.
Then I hereby transfer command authority to you, Mitsuru-san.
I am no longer at fault for anything that may go wrong. Good luck, Mitsuru.
Regulations
Goodbye.
State that the member with the lowest serial number is to take command. And since you are member number 1, the official leader of the Security Department Shadow Response Unit, also called the Shadow Operatives.
I had a feeling I wouldn't be able to enjoy this vacation for long.
No vacation for you, Mitsuru. Not allowed. Traveling with cargo from Ergo Research suggests that her vacation was neither relaxing nor cheerful.
But I can't allow anyone to be hurt again by the things we, the Kirijo group, created. We'll get this cargo back at all costs.
Well,
Mission
you
or
already
no
failed.
mission, I'm making it a personal priority.
Understood.
You swear Mitsuru is in Persona 5? She's not. Igus answers loudly and snaps off the police salute that she's finally gotten the hang of. I am Igus. My official name is the 7th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon. As my name implies, I am not human. I'm a humanoid weapon, essentially a robot. Though, with the right clothes, a surprising number of people cannot tell the difference. I was created in a research lab owned by one of the world's foremost conglomerates, the Kirijo Group. I was made to exterminate a certain enemy. They are called shadows, monsters born from people's repressed emotions, granted dark life. Shadows can only be defeated by those with the special power of personas. One persona is said to be the power to wield the persona within. Oh wait, no. One's persona is said to be the power to wield the shadow within. They are two sides of the same coin, though one cannot have a persona if they do not also have a heart. There is a detective woman in Persona 5, but that's not Mitsuru. I was given a mind to artificially develop a persona and body close to that of a human, so that my mind could maintain a personality. A heart designed for battle, body designed for battle. I did endure some suffering because of my original purpose, but I now have a place where I belong, somewhere I can make full, beneficial use of my powers. That is the Security Department Shadow Response Unit. Our nickname is the Shadow Operatives. The Shadow Operatives were formed at Mitsuru Kirijo's directive. She is the scion of my creators, the Kirijo Group, as well as one of those who had been given full responsibility for handling the shadows. Our objective is to identify and resolve incidents involving shadows. We do this by eliminating them. All of our members are persona users or have similar qualifications during operations. Our guidelines state that the member within the smallest number has command. The number that I was issued was 5. Though I'm not human, I am treated as a member and not a piece of equipment. Moreover, my number is in the single digits. It's possible that there will be missions like today where I must take command of dangerous operations. In other words, I am recognized as having the same life and dignity as humans. Because Mitsuru and the others have such trust in me, I want to repay their trust with results. There is another reason I am working my hardest on this case. Soon after the hijacking was solved, the stolen cargo was identified. Its content surprised me. The 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon, the unit named Labrys. She is one of my sister units. She was sealed over a decade ago and has been in storage with other artifacts ever since. Labrys, a humanoid weapon just like me. It is possible that she had a heart. And if she does, I want to save her before she is misused. This is a mission, yes, but more than that, I feel that it is my duty I must carry out. The next day, May 2nd, 2012. We wanted to preserve the vehicle carrying Labrys as soon as the hijacking was over, but its complicated route made it hard to track. Due to the sensitive nature of the cargo, it is difficult to set up large-scale traffic checkpoints. Fortunately, the license plate number was determined quickly and we got a rough estimate of its destination. Our headquarters were moved to the police facility. Mitsuru and our team are sorting out the situation to plan for an operation.
And the interrogation of the suspects?
It's begun, but all of them are claiming that their memories at the time are very foggy. So they've been sent in for evaluation.
This sounds like bootleg Adachi.
The psychologists who interviewed them think it's possible they're not lying.
So none of the 5 have any memories of what happened during the hijacking.
I think this is just
Normally
repeated
that would
stuff.
seem preposterous. There may have been some hypnotic effect, but even then...
We're dealing with someone after materials from Ergo research. They'll likely be very well informed about shadows and the mind. Knowing that, it doesn't seem so strange. It would also explain the
Adachi
extreme
from
lengths
Wish.
they went to create a decoy. What else do we know?
Another team member answers Mitsuru's
Since
question.
the cage storing the 5th generation is too large to transport by personal auto, we narrowed our search to large vehicles that left the airport. That, combined with the testimony from our observer and data from the transmitter, allowed us to pinpoint the vehicle in question. The police are already pursuing it via the N system. This is the most recent photo.
He hands the tablet to Mitsuru.
The Inaba area. Wasn't this the place where...
Yes, our routine investigation last year rated the potential shadow activity in the area at level 4.
I like how they knew something was up in Inaba, but they didn't do anything. Which, of course, this game came out after Persona 4, but, It seems that the culprit in this case had prior knowledge of shadows after all. If that is true, we must use extra caution. Many people do not know about shadows, though they are enough of a threat to possibly destroy the world. Then again, I experienced that for myself 3 years ago. If someone is trying to manipulate them, we must prevent it at all costs.
Let's talk about the stolen 5th generation unit. I guess, as the 7th generation, would be her younger sister.
A sister. My older sister.
I'd like to know why she was sealed.
5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon, Labrys. The records show her to be the first model fitted with an artificial personality.
In other words, she has a heart?
There's no knowing if it was developed enough to call it that. She seems to have been made to gather test data rather than actual field use.
What are her combat capabilities?
She wasn't given firearms, since her regulatory system was inadequate.
She was given a giant
So she was instead loaded with some kind of special equipment. Unfortunately, the majority of the records pertaining to her are missing, which means that's the extent of our knowledge.
Basically, Labrys isn't cool because she can't fire bullets out of her fingers.
Special equipment.
We also don't know why she was sealed. Many of the documents regarding the old Ergo research were lost, probably to cover up incriminating evidence. We don't even know what she looks like. All we do know is that she was a life-sized android.
We'll just have to find out along the way.
Mitsuru swipes her finger across the tablet a few times and shows it to an aide.
I'll need these 3 individuals' cooperations. I'd like to join them in the field.
Are you sure about this?
Try not to make a scene when fetching them. Not all of them are part of our organization.
The aide nods his assent and returns to his station. Mitsuru then turns her gaze onto me.
Frankly, I think we can assume that there'll be combat involved. Will you be alright with that?
Though Mitsuru doesn't say it out loud, I understand what she means. Our highest priority in this operation is to stop the culprit and mitigate an associated danger, not to rescue Labrys. Of course, we will strive to accomplish both, but in the worst-case scenario, we must consider the option of destroying Labrys. Destroying a sister unit, it will be a painful experience if she, too, has a heart.
I thank you for your concern, but I'll be fine. I will do my duty.
I will murder my sister. Mitsuru says nothing more and silently
Well
nods.
then, once we can confirm our target is headed to Inaba, we'll depart at once.
Onward to Inaba. Once again, May 3rd, 2012. As we get ready to depart from Inaba, Mitsuru and I go over last-minute details inside the police station. Mitsuru is absorbed with issuing instructions over the cell phone she is holding. Pessimism seeps into my heart. As I wait, I begin muttering to myself.
Will we be able to find Labris? My sister?
Mitsuru's surprised voice makes me realize how unlike me these doubts are.
Will we be able to save her? Isn't that what you really want to ask? Don't worry. As I mentioned to Akihiko, fighting Labris is not our priority. The reason I formed this shadow operative team is to save lives.
I mean, she's technically a robot.
We will find her, whatever it takes, and bring her back. We can do this.
Yes. I'm sorry to be so pessimistic.
Those feelings you have for Labris, you should tell her when you see her.
I will.
Friends bound by trust are irreplaceable indeed. I hope that Labris will become one as well. Eventually, the preparations are made and our limousine departs on its journey to Inaba. That evening, we are in Inaba now and traveling down a Midtown street. Though it is called Midtown, it is very different from an urban environment. It is a quiet, rustic road. The vehicle we are targeting is easily discovered. The transmitter that was attached to it when it left from the airport is, luckily for us, still active. But the vehicle has been abandoned and the cargo is gone as well. To trace it further, we must learn why the culprit came here. Specifically, we need to know the details of what happened last year. Though this was already assumed, so we have a plan. Mitsuru orders the driver to park nearby. However, this poses an unexpected problem. Our vehicle is a long black 8-door limousine. It'll stand out in this country town no matter where it's parked.
Mitsuru-san, our activities are supposed to be undercover, correct?
Yes.
Here we go again.
For undercover missions, it will be necessary to keep all personnel and vehicles from being noticed.
Right.
Mitsuru-san,
Why is it we drove the pimp limousine?
For a while now.
No.
Understood.
All I told them was to give us a car with enough space.
Wherever we go, people peer into the windows out of curiosity. We avoid the public eye as much as possible and finally park in what looks like a site for vehicle disposal out on the skirts of the town.
Our contact has arrived.
This is the Persona 4 Velvet Room from Wish. I mean, it pretty much is. I mean, it's a limousine, so there's not much you can do, but... I then notice a middle-aged man in a gray suit standing outside of the window. I recognize his face. He is one of the 3 collaborators Mitsuru contacted before our departure. I scoot over to the door and open the window.
Oh my! This was not our designated meeting area, yet he has discovered us.
What makes it funnier, too, is, like, out in the windows, it looks like the foggy, like, mist that's usually in the Velvet Room. Suddenly, something not unlike exasperation or disappointment appears on his face.
You want to know how I did it?
A cough interrupts
We
us.
appreciate your cooperation, Detective Kurosawa.
Mitsuru gets out of the vehicle and slightly bows. 3 years ago, when we were still fighting shadows in secret, Detective Kurosawa worked as a police officer at a nearby police box. He believed that our intentions were good and supplied us with certain conveniences under the table. His job made this risky, but he always acted on behalf of what he believed to be just. He said this many times while supporting us in secret. He is a strong man, one who always acts on his beliefs. But now our organization has official government sanction. He can now cooperate with us without being considered a dissident. In fact, now that Kurosawa's prior actions are justified, he's been promoted for his expertise. I have heard that he is now a plainclothes detective working at a central precinct.
Long time no see, miss. And Aegis, was it?
Indeed. It has been a while.
Kurosawa fixes his eyes on Mitsuru with me. It is faintly awkward. We are both dressed for combat, and I am not wearing any clothes to cover my true form.
Oh, sorry for staring. A humanoid weapon. I was skeptical when I heard, but
where's the blue-haired guy?
Doesn't leave any room for doubt.
You mean the Persona 3 protagonist?
I'm sorry that I kept it hidden back then.
It's all right. It would have caused more of a headache if you'd gone around looking like that.
Hearing him say that, I cannot help but smile.
Seeing you laugh like that makes it harder to believe you're a machine.
Do you want me to tell you? I've been avoiding mentioning it.
I shouldn't make you stand while we talk. Please, get in.
Because it spoils the end of Persona 3.
Ah, sorry. I haven't seen you in a while, so I had a lot to say.
Mitsuru asked Kurosawa to collect information on the serial murder case that occurred in the town last year. When background investigations were carried out across Japan at the end of 2011, this region showed high readings of shadow activity. But although it was investigated, there were no effects apart slightly unnatural. Did he shoot himself in the wrong place? No, but he is dead. Yeah, Buddy died at the end of the game. Then again, what if something happened that was just too hard to detect? Mitsuru suspects that the serial murder case was related to the shadows and asked Kurosawa to have local police force share their reports. We could have requested them directly, but what we wanted would not be the surface information found in the investigation reports. I'm waiting for someone to mention it in the game, but I think it would be brought up during IGUS's, if anything. There are limits to what an unofficial unit cloaked by authority can do with a direct request.
I found out quite a bit regarding the case you had me look into. First, I reviewed the report on the incidents from last year. One of the suspects mentioned the word persona.
Persona. I locked gazes with Mitsuru.
So what went on here last year?
It's probably related, but I wasn't done there. Parts of this guy's testimony were even more outlandish.
They're talking about Adachi
If you could take
again.
What's in the record at face value, it seems Persona users can enter TVs within the Inaba region.
Enter TVs? What does that mean?
Just what it sounds like. You physically stick your body into the screen and go inside. He claimed there was another world in the TV, and dropping people inside it was the method behind last year's murders.
This all sounds rather absurd. I'm surprised it was included in the police report.
I got in touch with the detective in charge at the time and said the same thing. Apparently the report was filed by a young partner of his at the time. He'd entertained the wildest testimonies like this one.
He sounds like quite the oddball.
Indeed, that is Adachi.
This was what really went on. The police would have had no chance cracking it. But that Detective Dojima is one shrewd guy. Even with all the supernatural hocus-pocus surrounding the case, he caught the culprit.
He didn't catch him. Kurosawa sighs. He seems to be
That's
tired.
all I have for you right now. I should be going. I doubt either of us has time to reminisce over the old days. It's funny, though. I thought the fighting was over, but you guys surprise me every time I see you.
Thank you very much, Officer Kurosawa. Why don't we at least see you off?
Oh, that's all right. I've got my own car. I doubt my department would appreciate your tastes.
Not all of us like riding around these fancy schmancy limousines.
If I ever showed up for work in something like this, I'd be the talk of the force until the day I retired.
He opened the door and exits the vehicle. He gives a short farewell and leaves without turning back.
Mitsuru-san, this could be bad. Our sense of social aptitude is in question.
Can't deny that.
How is he in Persona 5 then? He's not. What are you talking about? Don't talk about Persona 5 if you didn't beat the game.
What should we do now?
Yes. First, we'll need to test the claim that Persona users can enter TVs.
Like, come on, guy. Keep up. Hearing this makes me realize something. Although I had called it a vehicle disposed site, looking around I can now see there are also household electronics like refrigerators discarded here as well. In a corner is a stack of TVs.
There is a discarded TV over there. If the environment does not matter, we can use it to test the phenomenon.
Oh, you're talking about the stupid DLC they made, where you can battle the protagonists from Persona 4 and 3. Yeah, no, that has nothing to do with the game. That's just some side thing from Persona Royal. I voluntarily get out of the vehicle.
Wait, I guess.
Don't worry. I'm just going to touch it.
I extend my right hand and touch the screen of the biggest TV I can see. My fingers brush the glass screen, but although I seem to be touching it, I feel no resistance from its surface. I push my hand forward a little more. A weak light runs across the screen and from my forearm sinks into it.
Amazing!
Rings of light spread from the contact of my arm, rippling like water across the pond.
Interesting. It's exactly as the police report said. What's it like inside? Do you feel anything?
Not particularly. No. Wait a moment.
My sensors detect a sensation I've never felt before, but the knowledge of what it is has hardly been recorded within me.
It's the same as mine. It's hard to say definitively since this is my first encounter with it, but I believe this reading is from a personality module.
Does that mean our retrieval target is inside the TV?
Huh. Sounds like fun.
I hear a voice come from an unexpected direction. Mitsuru and I look towards it. What we see is a silhouette wearing a low hood that covers his eyes and a tattered cape. It billows in the wind, looking just like a character in a Western movie. He is standing atop a mountain of trash, his arms crossed.
Is that Akihiko?
Is that Akihiko Salami? He jumps down nimbly and walks towards us.
You didn't show up at the rendezvous point, so I went looking and found you here. This whole TV thing is pretty interesting.
I would never forget the man laughing so fearlessly. Like Mitsuru, he's a friend I once fought alongside. Akihiko Salami. He was a student boxing champion in his school days and a staunch ally. Powerful even without his persona. He is also our second collaborator on this case.
It's been a while, Akihiko-san.
Yeah, good seeing you.
Akihiko, what on earth are you wearing? Just what were you doing overseas?
Well, I was beating up homeless people, you know?
Didn't I tell you that I was on a training expedition?
Don't tell me you came here from the airport like that. Does the concept of keeping a low profile mean nothing to you?
Says the woman in a giant white coat.
Mitsuru-san,
Exactly.
I believe we have lost the right to complain about that.
Mitsuru sighs in annoyance. Ah yes, Akihiko was on a training expedition overseas until this morning. As a result, his appearance is slightly, no, very different from the last time I saw him. But his aggressive personality and love for a challenge seems to be the same as always. He gives a cocky smile and smacks his palm with his fist.
Anyway, we can get inside from that TV, right? And what are we waiting for?
Still the same Akihiko. We don't know the situation inside yet, and we'll need a secure means of getting out.
So what? If we want to get this Labrys back, someone has to go inside, right?
Well, that's...
Our target hijacked a plane to throw her into a TV in this town. If we sit on our hands, it's possible we'll be put in serious danger.
Akihiko steps towards Mitsuru as if pressing
We're
her.
different from how we used to be. We made the choice to fight shadows as professionals.
That'd be a cool profession. To just
That's why
battle
I
monsters,
around the world and trained
save the
harder
world.
than ever. And now that something's actually come up, you're hesitating? We agreed to do this. I'm ready to stake my life on the mission.
Akihiko's opinion is a bit strong, but he is not incorrect. It could be Akihiko understands that being slightly forceful is his role. Because Mitsuru takes caution seriously, as the ultimate authority in this case, she frequently second-guesses herself. But I have seen Akihiko's words cut through her hesitation in the past. It shows his trust in Mitsuru not to make the decisions in error.
All right. Wait right here. I need to go make a phone call first.
Okay, but make it quick.
Make it snappy. Alright. The game's truly going to be beginning again. This for the 4th time.
The other members will wait here in the car.
Yeah. If we all barge in and something happens, we'll be devastated.
Now that you mention it, at least one of us should be staying behind as well.
I am not staying.
Us three will be plenty. We'll end this in a flash. No problem.
The same as always. Although, we have no idea what might be waiting for us on the other side. Don't get careless.
Right.
This situation, it brings back memories.
Ready!
Where did they go? They just went into that one Mario 64 level. I don't know. Remember the name?
Why enter the TV? What's going on?
Place a bookmark. I am surrounded by a white light that strains most of my sensors to their limits. A portion of my sensors indicate that I am currently in a state similar to freefall. I can't tell up and down from left and right. This continues for a while. Eventually, my functions slowly recover. I find myself inside an unknown room sitting on the ground. I quickly stand and check my surroundings.
Is this the music room of a school?
I can see a music stand, a grand piano, a blackboard, and portraits. There is an air of over-exaggerated theatrics to it, but I may not be far from the truth. Is this the world inside the TV? After the surreality of entering a TV screen, this comes as quite a surprise.
No sign of Mitsuru-san or Akihiko-san. Did they land elsewhere? So much noise. I can't contact anyone like this.
I attempt to use my communicator, but there is no response. This looks like an ordinary classroom, but it has an alarming amount of radio interference. When I concentrate my senses again, I detect a bizarre disturbance from the entire area that is unlike normal buildings. This may be another world after all. In any case, I must join up with Mitsuru and Akihiko. But just as I begin to make plans to do so, the monitor hanging from the ceiling switches on. What appears on it? How to describe it? A bizarre figure that looks like a living costume.
I spy an unknown yet bewitching babe. How unexpected!
Oh, I think they broke Teddy. Again. Its comical tone does not last long before the voice becomes distorted and the image disappears. It reminds me of a malfunctioning machine. I stare at the monitor. I have a hunch that it will return soon. Just as I thought, the costume reappears, but its behavior is very different now.
Case 04, unintended intruder. Entering elimination process.
Its mechanical sounding voice is completely different from the joking tone it had before. And that phrase, elimination process, it seems that a battle will be starting. I release the safeties from the weapons built into my body. That's when a large noise comes from behind me. Kanji's first. A young man in a school uniform comes rolling in with a yell.
A human?
Ow! Jeez, decided to open right then.
Oh, this is what happened in Kanji's. Kanji did run into Igus. I thought that I was ready for an eventuality, but I had not expected to suddenly encounter a human.
Are you alright? You seem to be unharmed.
The young man looks back at me with a steely gaze while fixing his bleached hair with his fingers. His behavior does not seem to be that of one who came in pursuit of me.
Never seen you before.
I think this is the dream route.
I'm sorry, I haven't introduced myself. My name is Igus.
Only then do I remember that my appearance would seem very peculiar to a casual observer.
I'm a transfer student. I have blue eyes, blonde hair, Gatling cannon.
Huh?
I'm sorry, forget what I said. In the past, that prepared explanation for students has been effective, but no longer.
Okay. Anyways, I'm Kanji Tatsumi. This mean you're my next opponent?
Opponent? What do you mean?
What do I mean? I'm talking about a scrap!
You mean a fight? But we have only met Tatsumi-san. Actually, where are we?
Enough blabbering, you machine!
With a yell, he slams the folding chair and his hands on the ground. A cold, dull, metallic sound echoes and eliminates any possibility for talking this over.
It's a fake girl like you doing calling me by my name!
I go quiet. A fake girl? I understand how I might elicit such a reaction, but there is a pain in my chest, though I cannot help but smile at how instinctively I reacted that way. It seems I have become more human-like than I knew.
I was worried I might have to go up against my senpai, but I ain't gonna hold back against a robot like you!
Thinking with a calm mind, I notice a similar incongruity in his attitude. When he first saw me, he seemed unsure and claimed that he had not seen me before. Yet though he knows now that I am a machine, he doesn't seem particularly surprised. Aren't those two things contradictory? I focus my senses once more and enhance the gain on my sensors. I detect a faint interference. Because it had appeared uniformly across all my sensors, I hadn't been aware of it. What is this?
You're not gonna do anything. I'll make the first move. Take Mikazuchi!
Kanji, please.
A persona?
Light flickers intermediately. Could that be electricity? A thick barrel-like arm charged with voltage approaches from above. I jump back and narrowly escape a crushing blow.
Nice dodge. Looks like you got at least a little bit of fight in you.
A persona user? I was careless. I should have expected that possibility since I encountered him inside the TV. I do not know the procedure for attacking a human, but if he's a persona user, I must defend myself with the usual armament.
There is no avoiding this fight. I cannot fall here.
You've fought persona users before, I guess you're fine. You fought Jesus with a gun.
Finally! Fight! Damn it!
Damn it! That's nothing!
I failed. Back.
Damn! This'll hurt!
Some damage.
Did she just have a skeleton?
Severe inlet damage.
Nothing!
Limited this persona. Bramble. I failed. Final sequence.
No, I missed.
Final sequence.
Oh, he blocked it. You goon.
Yikes, they're shocked and can't move. I failed. Please hit. Fight. Dash.
I can't.
All be over in moment. Evasive move. Holding out. Oh, persona. My other self. Back. Anti-air. Aerial
I
mode.
just wanted to do the finisher, Kanji. Why'd you take this from me?
Reloading. Still standing. Aerial mode. Now. Ready. Eyes of a witch. This could go either way. Back. Evasive move. Final sequence.
Don't block on me. He blocked again. God damn. Alright. You die.
Not too cool.
All right, announcement over. Until next time.
Until next time.
Are you alright, Tatsumi-san?
I help Tatsumi off the ground and call for to him. After repeating myself several times, I hear a groan.
No! Damn it! Ow! Oh, whoa! Hands off!
I'm sorry. If you can't stand, then I'll carry you.
I pick up Tatsumi, who is still lying down with both arms.
Whoa! Damn! You're a hell of a lot stronger than you look. Whoa, 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 whoa! How come you carry me like this? Like a bride or something?
This is the spousal method of carrying.
The spousal method.
No, it ain't. It's the bridal. Oh, wait a second. Are you pretty much the same thing?
There it is, the look.
Tatsumi-san, you seem completely fine.
That's what I've been saying. And stop with the Tatsumi-san crap. It's making my skin crawl. Just call me Kanji.
You don't object to being called that? I'm an artificial person, after all.
Huh? Who cares? If I say it's fine, then it's fine.
Yeah.
Hey, will you put me down already?
When I put Kanji down as requested, he turns his back and repeatedly scratches his head. I feel as if his demeanor has changed compared to how it was before the fight. His loud voice and rough words are the same, but the sense that he will not listen to a word I say is gone. I feel that I can make myself understood.
Well then, Kanji-san, allow me to ask again. Where are we? And what did you mean by opponent?
Huh? You're not an enemy that Ted set up for me?
Ted. Are you referring to the bear who appeared on the monitor?
This is a fighting tournament. Only the winners get to keep going. I lost this time. But oh well. I wouldn't make it in the big leagues.
That sounds like something Akihiko-san would say.
I'm depressed. I'm not the manliest man.
Sorry, I was just talking to myself.
Gotta say, you pack one hell of a punch. Got me real good.
You fought a robot.
But I didn't throw any punches.
Listen though, the rest of this tournament ain't gonna be so easy. My senpai are waiting up ahead.
There are more people here. Could you estimate how many?
Kanji smiles dauntlessly and gives me a thumbs up. Look at that smile. That's the face of a man who knows how to count to 7. I don't really understand why, but I give him a thumbs up as well. Good job. Then Kanji keels over. I rush in to catch him. When I look into his face, he is still smirking, but he passed out. It seems he was fighting through his fatigue for the sake of his pride. He doesn't seem injured, so I carefully set him back down on the floor. Suddenly, that costume, Kanji called it Ted, appears again on the monitor. You murdered him, I guess.
Are persona users. Due to difficulties in elimination, they will be acknowledged as valid targets.
It's using the mechanical tone of voice again. The intruders must be me and the others. Since I won't be easy to eliminate, it appears that he's changing tactics. But what could he mean by valid targets? The monitor screen turns off once again. Just like before, it flickers back on after a few seconds. It is the same face as before, but a completely different attitude.
Woohoo! What a fox! Think to join in on our fun? I'm A-okay with that if you're up for a little fighting. I'll wait for you in the next arena up ahead.
This is more how he sounded at the beginning. He's gone back to normal, or at least recovered from the abnormality.
Oh, silly me. If you're cutting in, you don't know who I am. I am General Teddy. Remember that name well.
Blah, 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 blah. General Teddy, apparently. He really is a teddy bear. He doesn't seem like one, but a number of things he said caught my attention. Joining in on our fun and arena? These are in line with the tournament Kanji mentioned. Is this tournament being held here? But the monitor is silent once again and does not return. I do not think I will make any progress if I remain here. I poke my head through the door where Kanji appeared to check my surroundings. What looks like a school hallway leads straight ahead. There appears to be no danger nearby. I manage to hoist Kanji's body over my shoulders and try to leave the room.
What?
Something gets stuck and prevents me from proceeding. I stop and check, but I cannot see any obstructions. Both of the sliding doors fell off when Kanji came in, and the way it completely opened. It should be wide enough for me to pass through easily, even with a person over my shoulders. Yet I cannot pass. Something is getting stuck. Kanji's too thick for the door. I slow my walking speed and check to see what part of me is getting caught. That is how I discover something surprising. Nothing is blocking the way, yet only Kanji's body cannot pass through the door. It seems there is an invisible wall, one that is selective and prevents only Kanji's passage between the room and the hallway. Something Kanji said comes back to me. Only the winner gets to keep going. Is this what he meant? I increased the sensitivity of my various sensors, but I cannot detect any wall here. I have no way of destroying what I cannot touch, which means I have no choice but to leave Kanji here.
Oh well. I will come back for you later. Please stay safe until then.
Once he comes around, he's still a persona user. It's not as if I'm leaving someone behind who can't fend for himself. I reluctantly convince myself to move on. While moving down the hallway, my sensors continue to pick up disturbances from everything in the school. It all looks so normal, though. There's a line of glass windows on the wall. Outside is a field level with the ground I am walking on. I seem to be on the first floor of the building. Eventually, I reach a doorway and cautiously venture inside. There is barely any difference in temperature or atmospheric composition compared to the real world, but the lack of wind is unnatural, and there are other discrepancies between here and there. I turn around and inspect the building's exterior. This is indeed a school. I walk along the wall and go around the tall building. Soon, I reach what seems to be the main gate. I turn towards the school building once again and come to a realization.
I recognize this place.
I've seen a photo from this angle in the preparation materials. As I recall, this is a high school in Inaba. To make sure, I step past the school gate and check the nameplate. The name engraved on the gate's pillar is Yasogami High School. I cross-reference the name with a map of the area and find a match. This is confusing. A real-world location has been completely recreated in the TV? Why is it structured like nesting boxes? Just then, I sense something move in the corner of my vision. I quickly turn to view it head-on. It is a uniformed girl. She is running straight through in the opposite direction of the field. Is she a student? No, this is not a real school. Could she be one of the senpai Kanji spoke of? But a moment's thought highlights an important detail. Her pale skin and hair color. There can be no mistake. It's the girl I saw a moment at the airport after the hijacking. I immediately chase after her. But the girl is much faster than I anticipate, and I cannot close the distance. I release a portion of my foot speed limiters and finally get close, until I'm able to grasp her right arm from behind.
Huh?
Look, it's Labrys. The girl stops and turns around. There's a surprise on her face, and she stares in wide-eyed wonder at my form. Though I am surprised myself, the instant I take her hand, a flash of intuition charges through me like electricity. This girl is Labrys. I am unaccountably convinced.
Who are you? That's one funny-looking costume you've got on.
Oh, well,
We gotta call out her appearance.
Oh, of course. You're mixed up in this racket too, aren't you?
Racket? Does she mean the tournament?
No, I am not in this tournament of my own free will.
Really? Then you mind letting me go? I'm the student council president. I can't be letting people run wild at this school.
Student council president?
Didn't I tell you to let me go? Are you trying to get in the way of my work here?
The girl looks at me with an irritated expression. How strange, she speaks as if she really is leading an ordinary life here at school. If she was aware that she was inside the TV, would she say such things to me?
If you happen to know, could you please tell me what sort of place this is?
Huh? It's the first floor of the classroom building. Can't you tell?
Huh? Is it possible that you don't recall entering a TV?
A TV? Listen, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm kind of in a hurry here. Can I go now?
Before you do, please tell me something. Who are you?
Who? What'd you stop me for if you didn't even know? I just told you.
Yeah, you
I'm
idiot.
the student council president.
You big dummy.
What hole have you been hiding in? The elections were just last week. Are we done now? Because I got places to be.
The girl ends the conversation sternly, shakes off my hand, and runs away again. In an instant, she has disappeared into the school building.
Please, wait!
Bong. I go after her, but just as I enter the hallway and round the first bend, something blocks my path. But I can't see what it is at all. I can't see it, yet when I reach out my hand, I can feel it. I think I know what this is.
That wall again!
The invisible wall that prevented Kanji's passage. It's most likely the same thing. Once again, I am surprised. I can touch it, yet my sensors detect nothing. And it's much stronger than I had imagined. It repels even gunfire, physical strikes, or nothing. I attempt various methods to destroy it, but before I can, the girl disappears from view.
It seems I am forced to try a different route.
I consider the situation once more. Was that girl truly Labrys? There are too many factors now indicating otherwise. Her appearance and the feel of her arm when I grasped it a moment ago. Both are strong signs that she is human. If she is entirely artificial, then she cannot be part of an older generation of models than myself. Her speaking voice and behavior were both also indicative of known human patterns. According to the records of Labrys' development, she was sealed away soon after. Even I stumble with natural human speech. She could not have become that proficient in such a short time. She's not a machine, but a human, so she cannot be Labrys. Usually I would not hesitate to make such a judgment based on the available data, yet I still cannot shake the feeling that she may be Labrys. That intuition I felt earlier, what caused it? This case remains murky. I feel as if my sensors are being muffled by a thin cloth, but I cannot leave her be. Even if she is not Labrys, that fact itself means she's in danger. I quickly look for an alternate route. Oh, we're back outside. I backtrack the way I came and run outside. Suddenly, I am enveloped in a tidal wave of sound. These are human voices. The cheering comes from an enormous crowd. I turn around and a thick mass of people run towards me out of nowhere. They are boys and girls in school uniforms. It is clear that everyone is looking at me.
This is impossible.
How did I fail to detect so many humans? But then I notice it. There is a white noise running through all my sensors. It is the same feeling that I had before fighting Kanji. What is this? As I stand in thought, the students close in on me. I ask what business they have with me, but the uproar drowns out my voice. I cannot attack them, so I have no choice but to edge backwards. Soon, my back is against the wall. I look around for an escape route. Luckily, there was a door beside me. I hurry inside to find shelter. The room I have entered appears to be spacious. It is dark here, but I believe it is the gymnasium. Here and there, folding chairs and gym equipment are piled in heaps. It looks like the result of some strange ritual. Suddenly, a light shines in the corner. Upon closer inspection, I can see a monitor showing something. It is airing some familiar faces. Oh, am I gonna have to watch this? Oh, come on.
Rivals. They are friends, yet powerful foes.
I thought we were done with this.
The desperate fighting program amongst high school students. A new legend is about to start.
May the manliest of all men come on down!
Nobody touches his precious Nanako, the sister complex kingpin of steel, Yu Narukami!
It's only natural.
Wage slave in the boonies by day, hero by night, Captain Resentiment, Yosuke Hanamura!
Everything that bores me has gotta go!
A spunky dragon with deadly legs, the carnivore who's discarded womanhood, Chie Satonaka!
You need to eat more meat!
Please escort me to the ring, my prince! The unconquerable Snow Black, Yukiko Amagi!
I'll finish you in one strike!
Blooming roses and bulging muzzles, the blood-curdling beefcake emperor, Kanji Tatsumi! Deep into realms of romance, the body of a child, the brain of a genius, the 2000 IQ killjoy detective, Naoto Shirogane!
Is this an army of idiots?
Fight and survive towards the one throne waiting at the end! The P1 Grand Prix, where fierce fights will be fought! The battle begins tonight!
Why did I have to see that again? Did they just want to show it one last time? I am not sure what to say about that video. It seems to be modeled after promotional videos for martial arts tournaments. I noticed appearances by Kanji and the host, General Teddy. The other people shown must also be participants. It is safe to assume they are all Persona users. As of watching my reaction from somewhere, General Teddy appears on the monitor, replacing the video.
Looks like you're officially getting in on the action. Welcome! Look, everyone, another challenger!
Without warning, there is a loud sound. The doors in every direction open at once. Excited students pour in, cheering and yelling. Before I know it, I am surrounded by people with no means of escape. General Teddy grins at my situation and raises his stubby arm.
Bring out the next opponent!
Alright, who we getting? My guess is Yosuke. Or Chie. Spotlight shines on the spot where the crowd parts. A female student can be seen. She has short hair and wears a jacket. She looks very athletic. Okay, this is Chie. I recognize her face from the video. Her name was Chie Satonaka. She steps in front of me, bouncing from foot to foot.
I heard that you're elbowing in on the tournament. Suits me fine. Let's do this!
As she finishes her speech, she takes a fighting stance. Oh, we're just going straight into the fight. Just then, a gleaming silhouette appears behind her. It is another Persona. Chie extends her hand, palm facing up, and motions with her fingers, taunting me.
Ooh, she's ready and raring to go!
This is strange. Chie's willingness to fight is odd enough, but even stranger are the students in the crowd. Even when seeing a Persona up close, they show no signs of alarm. Come to think of it, how did they get here? I cannot believe that they are all Persona users. But even if they were, would they be so excited over such brutality? While stuck in a mysterious world filled with potential dangers, that does not seem likely. Perhaps my basic assumptions are faulty. Could they, like these buildings, be unreal? I cannot jump to conclusions, but decided to take the offensive. I turn to the monitor. General Teddy is bouncing up and down gleefully.
I will fight on one condition.
Which is?
Interesting. He answered me. I can hold a conversation with him, which means he can see and hear
That
me.
you immediately release all these students from this school, or rather from this world. If you do that, I will fight as you wish.
Tut-tut! Are you making
Tut.
demands to me? Before you get too worried about other people, why not worry about yourself?
I will not fight unless you guarantee their safety.
I glare at General Teddy through the monitor. I didn't want to involve the students, but I have an idea.
Sheesh! What a stubborn girl!
Oh, he snaps his stubby fingers. The room instantly fills with light. I ward myself against it by covering my eyes. A few seconds later, the brightness fades to normal. As my eyes adjust, I see that the students have vanished.
Is that what you wanted?
The general smiles proudly. My guess was correct. If the students were fake, it is easier for him to remove them than to talk me into fighting. As a result, my sensors detect the moment when the students disappear all at once. The only human here is Chie. Looking around, it seems that not everything disappeared. Human-like figures remain as if the shadows of the students were burned into the scenery. There were several about the gymnasium. Their readings are similar to shadows, but they show no sign of hostility. So these are the true forms of those students. They have been unmasked.
Honestly, you're in no position to be making demands, you know. I'm making an exception just this once because it's no fun if you don't both go at it tooth and claw.
Tooth and claw!
If you don't resist, your opponent will show no mercy. It'll be a grisly sight.
Come on! Even if the crowd was still here, would you not have hit back when I hit you?
No. The safety of the people must be prioritized above all else.
Ha! That's pretty cool of you, actually. But self-sacrifice doesn't mean much coming from a machine. It
Ooh.
can just fix you right up. Oh, that's right. It doesn't even count as self-sacrifice for a machine. It's
Oh, they're really gonna lay it into her?
programmed to do. You probably don't feel pain or anything, huh? It just seemed that way because you look human.
You may not understand, but I can sense pain as well.
Really? That's such a weird thing to program into a weapon. Doesn't make any sense to me.
That's...
As I struggle to answer, Chie smiles
Well,
wide.
that's fine with me. Means I can fight you without pulling any punches.
Her smile disappears and her eyes spark with a fire as she launches herself at me. I would rather not fight her, but she is a persona user. I clench my teeth and make myself ready to intercept
If
her.
I must fight you, then I will.
One of them has to say it. I'm not happy until one of them brings it up. Brings up the protagonist. But I don't think they're going to.
Finally!
Evasive move!
Just trying to get the finisher. I want to see it. This is fine. Okay, can't do it. I'm gonna die if I don't. I just want to see the finisher game. Let me do it. It's all I want.
Oh, sheesh. Wow. You're definitely a pro when it comes to fighting.
I'm sorry. Are you alright?
Yeah. But boy, I didn't stand a chance
No, I guess it's a girl.
against you. Hey, what's all this about you being a robot?
She's upset by her loss, but seems cheerful. She didn't show this open-mindedness before the fight. Perhaps, as with Kanji, I can make peace with her by... No, it is vain of me to think of that as a possibility. Her words echo in my mind. It doesn't even count as self-sacrifice for a machine. It's just what you're programmed to do. I hate to admit it, but her observation is correct.
I may seem like a ridiculous machine to you, but I'm still...
Huh? I never said that.
Hmm?
Wait. You're not acting like you did before the fight. I'm surprised that you're a robot, but what gives?
Chie looked stupefied. Her expression confuses me as well. She stated it clearly, yet she doesn't remember. Then something hit me. Didn't things go similarly with kanji as well? Could it be that something was done to the participants? No, I should avoid drawing conclusions based solely on speculation. Besides, there is something I must do first.
That reminds me. I haven't introduced myself yet. My name is Aigis.
Looks like we let our fists say too much before we opened our mouths.
I saw the introductory video. You're Chie Satomaki,
You're the carnivore who
correct?
discarded her womanhood, right?
Yep. Oh, you can just call me Chie.
The carnivore who's
Yep, there it
discarded
is.
womanhood.
Okay, you didn't need to bring that part up, and I didn't discard anything. I can use a persona, but I'm just an ordinary high school student. I go to Yasugami High.
Alright, you're sharing too much. No one asked.
So anyways, are you, seriously a machine? No fooling?
Did the arms not give it away?
Yes. I was created as a weapon
Or
for a
the
certain
weapons
purpose.
growing
It
from
may
my
be
body?
difficult to explain to you.
Nah, I can tell from the fight you're telling the truth. Huh. So you're not cosplaying. Then again, it'd be pretty nuts for someone to come out here to cosplay.
Speaking of which, Chie-san, can you tell me what this place, this world, is? I confess that I am looking for someone. While pursuing them, I heard the rumor about going inside TVs and ended up here.
Oh, right. You can use a persona. That's how you got into the TV. Where should I start? I don't know exactly how it works, but this place is supposedly a realm formed by human thought.
By thought? Does that mean this is
By
someone's
thoughts,
mental
you
landscape?
mean attractive women? No, not that
I
slang.
guess so.
Then we physically entered a mental world? Through a TV, no less? How can this be?
To tell the truth, I never understood it so well myself. There was this insane monster thing around town up until early spring.
It was a giant eyeball.
It created this whole world, and I got my persona because of what happened in here.
Chie folds her arms with a troubled look on her
Come to
face.
think of it, all this stuff should have been over and done with. But you see that ad showing on the monitor over there? It suddenly started getting shown on TV in reality. There's no way we were gonna stand for that crap to be shown. So that's why me and my friends came in here to put a stop to it.
Your friends are here as well?
Yeah, a couple. Also, that Teddy guy who's hosting this, plus the girl Rise who's serving as commentator. They're my friends too, but they're acting so weird.
They're acting sus. She lets out a sigh.
Sorry, listen to me, babbling away. Do you think you can find this person you're looking for? Actually, could whoever it is get in here? I don't think normal people can enter the TV.
To tell you the truth, I have already encountered one such person, but
I tell her about the girl I saw. I give her all the details that I can remember. I recall that she called herself the student council president. She did not seem aware that she was inside the TV.
Oh, you mean the girl who was calling herself the student council president? Yeah, I saw her too.
Yeah, she was also acting sus.
She was yelling into a bullhorn to stop this foolishness, but then she ran off saying she was gonna go talk to the tournament's host.
she was wearing the same skirt that you are, Chie-san. It seems to be part of a uniform. Are you acquainted with her?
No, I don't know her. It's funny, that girl said she was elected last week, but if I remember right, our student council president was a guy.
I have many doubts about her. I must meet her again and figure her out.
Thank you. I now have a better understanding of the situation. Well then, I should be going now. I would like it if you could come along, but...
I know, I can't leave here, right?
You're trapped in
I'll
purgatory.
stay put for now.
You can sit with all the folding chairs. You have plenty of seats.
I will come back for you later. You may find it hard to trust me, but...
No, I believe you.
Chie replies unhesitantly.
I've been through so much over this past year that I'm pretty confident I can read people. Honestly, though, what other choice do I have? If you run into any of my friends, tell them I'm okay.
You see, we ran into this guy who we thought we could trust, but then he ended up being the big criminal. His name was Adachi.
I will.
So after that, I learned how to read people, because, you know, it's just what I do. After wiping the dust from her right hand and with her sleeve, Chie extends it to me.
Aigis-san, right? So, if this was some fighting manga, we'd beat the tar out of each other, then shake hands in the end as best friends. A powerful enemy can become a powerful friend, you know?
clasp her hand. She smiles in embarrassment.
Friendship can do amazing things. I saw that for myself last year. And you and I can be friends too, so, you don't need to talk like you're just an object.
Chie-san.
Don't look at me like that. You're embarrassing me. Come on, get going. Go! Hurry!
Yes, I'll see you later.
She's so happy now. Energized by Chie's words, I run towards the entrance. I turn around and wave to Chie. There is more at stake than Labrys. I must protect these people. I swear a vow to myself and leave. Alright, that's 2 fights. As I exit the gymnasium, I remain cautious while running down the hallway. Suddenly, I pick up a response on my transmitter, which has been silent until now. I stop and focus on picking up the signal.
Guess you hear... Can you hear me, I guess?
Who? The staticky transmission soon becomes clear. It is a voice I recognize very well.
Mitsuru-san?
Good. It seems you're all right, too. It's been quite a while since I last used my persona in this manner. To think it would be useful in a place like this.
I just beat up Akihiko.
Is Akihiko-san with you?
No, we were separated, but I can still sense him. I doubt he'll be defeated that easily.
Proceeds to get beat by Teddy. She is speaking not out of carelessness, but trust. I know because I feel the same.
I'm sure you're aware by now, but although we came in search of Labrys, we appear to have been dragged into another incident. Don't worry about meeting up for now. Under the present conditions, we'd only end up fighting amongst ourselves.
Understood.
I don't know how Labrys ties into this situation yet, but be careful.
So by this point, Mitsuru just beat, or Naoto or Mitsuru just beat the other. Before I can answer, the static grows louder and the transmission ends. Knowing that Mitsuru and Akihiko are okay gives me room for breath. A room to breathe. The invisible walls are everywhere along the hallway, forcing me down a particular path. I follow the route soon enough I can see the shoe lockers up ahead. It seems I am back at the entrance. When I reach the entrance, the monitor nearby turns on as if it were waiting for me. As usual, it is General Teddy. I take a defensive stance. This appears to be the arena for my next battle.
You're pretty good for a latecomer.
The instant General Teddy appears on the TV, my sensors pick up that noise again. My suspicion turns into certainty. General Teddy is doing something before the matches. Whatever it is makes the opponent belligerent, or something similar. I can assume that neither Kanji nor Chie were acting like themselves before the battle. That would explain why none of our stories were consistent afterwards.
Well then, bring out the next opponent!
Alright, who do we got? It's gonna be like Yosuke or Akihiko. I hear light footsteps. Yukiko? A young man wearing his hat low arrives. Oh, it's Naoto.
Naturally, of the 3 of you, you're the one I encountered first.
Wait, what? Okay, maybe they didn't fight. Mitsuru and Naoto. He shrugs his shoulders and pulls the brim lower. This boy was also in the promotional video. His name was Naoto Shiro Spaghetti. I bring myself to high alert. He said 3 of you?
You know about us?
On hearing my question, he smiles cynically.
Did Mitsuru Kirijo not inform you? I don't merely know about you. I was there at the airport. The Kirijo group seems rather lax for a multinational corporation, allowing a machine to act autonomously and take command. To be frank, watching you fills me with pity. Perhaps the kindest thing to do would be to give you a merciful end.
Pity?
Your existence is inherently a deception, isn't it? You're a machine, and a weapon on top of that, yet you look human. Those who meet you think you're human. You even seem to believe it yourself. Truly pitiful.
I have no answer to this. As much as I don't want to believe it, it's all true.
You were built to consider yourself human in order to activate the ability to wield a persona. Your appearance and your heart are only prerequisites for that power. I'm sure you've realized it already. You will never find the means to cross the gap between the human heart and your mechanical frame. No matter how much you want love, you'll never earn it. At best, people grow fond of you.
He sounds as if he knows for certain. I hang my head in spite of myself.
The more I consider the matter, the more I genuinely pity you. I'd best hurry up and put an end to your pathetic life.
Naoto draws his gun. Because my eyes are lowered, I am slow to react. I already knew that we had to fight, and yet I curse my carelessness and quickly stand back up. Alright, Naoto, I need you to let me do the finisher. I need to see it. Shiro Spaghetti.
Sorry, but I see you.
Quick dodge! Overheated! Opponent still standing! Evasive move! I failed! Final sequence!
How did I hit? There we go.
Palladian numbers set!
Hit him with a Palladian cannon.
That was hardly fair. I'm overheated.
There we go. Now I'm satisfied. Naoto slowly gets up. There is some staggering that seems to be caused by dizziness. I watch carefully for any changes in behavior, but I am surprised by what I hear next.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking? The mastermind behind this tournament may have some means of fogging our senses. Were you suspecting that as well?
Yes.
Yes. Seeing me nod, Naoto smiles.
Then we are in agreement. Its aim appears to be to make friends fight one another, though it's a mystery to me as to why it would do such a thing.
Naoto brushes some dust off and walks towards me.
But the battle is over and the interference has been lifted. Given past examples, the pattern is clear. How about it? Why don't we talk things over?
Let's share our notes. But don't copy them. I have no objections. Naoto seems to understand everything. I nod my head relieved.
I am Naoto Shirogane.
I am Shiro Spaghetti.
I work as a detective. I agreed to act as an observer for the police regarding the special cargo, met with Kurijo-san beforehand, and accompanied her to the airport.
So that's how you knew about us. I recall seeing you in the introductory video along with the other competitors.
They're good friends of mine. I attend Yasogami High, the same school as them.
I see. So after you finished your business and returned to your hometown, that video appeared on TV. Is that correct?
That's right. At least that's what I should say if I wanted to feign innocence.
What?
The real reason I came here is because I was tailing you. It was for a secret investigation.
Well, it ain't secret no more.
Ooh. Naturally, I cannot reveal my client or what their aims are, but I'm sure you have your own secrets to keep. What do you think? As long as we're in the same boat, why not cooperate?
I become tense at the mention of a secret investigation, but that is not important now.
I see. It would not be wise to continue to stand in each other's way in this situation.
I accept Naoto's hand and we shake.
How much do you know about this world?
Your friend told me it's a realm formed by human thought. In which case, why a school?
This place varies according to people's mental state. When someone enters it directly, they have a much stronger effect on it. For a normal person with no persona-based resistances, a dangerous situation will arise where their shadow goes berserk. That happened frequently in the case I was involved with last year. This false school may have something to do with it.
Back when people were dying and being hung on antennas. I considered Lapras. According to her specifications, she should be able to use a persona, but did this come from her mind? Why a school? And why Yasogami High School of all places? She has no prior knowledge of the place. She has never even visited Inaba. But if that girl is Lapras, she undoubtedly has a heart. It is possible that something like what Naoto suggested could happen.
I assume you have a theory already?
Yes. Thank you very much. I believe I'm slowly starting to understand what's going on.
I'm glad someone's understanding what's happening. I look down the path ahead. But before I go, I turn and ask Naoto a question.
Would you mind telling me something? Why did you tell me about your secret agenda?
I suppose because it wouldn't be fair otherwise.
A wry smile spreads over Naoto's
Given
face.
that I cannot leave here and must trust my friend's fate to you, it would be unfair to continue deceiving you. But not only that, you carry out your duties with little care for your true appearance. You and I are not on equal grounds there.
My true appearance?
Consider it a sign of my respect for that. I still seem to have a soft spot.
Naoto's smile fades, and she looks at me solemnly.
Aiga-san, I ask only one thing of you. Please save my friends.
That is my intention.
Thank you. I'll wait here, secure in knowing that.
We nod to each other. Chie, Kanji, and Naoto are all so different, but they are all connected by a strong bond. Knowing that fills my heart with
I'm
warmth.
curious, though. When you refer to your true appearance, do you mean the fact that you are a woman?
Oh, I just figured it out.
What?
Am I mistaken?
Oh, well...
Your clothing hides it, but my sensor scan shows the body measurements of a human with female proportions.
I guess can sense proportions.
What do you mean? How much can you see?
Who told you? Suddenly Naoto loses all composure and turns red, covering her chest with her arms. What happened? I don't think I said anything to warrant such a reaction. Just then, General Teddy interrupts over the monitor.
Hey, enough with the chit-chat! Hurry up and move on to the next!
Would you like to know your current measurements? From top to bottom, they are...
That's quite all right.
Never mind, little old me. Please finish that line of thought. I demand it!
How did we get so off subject? If you're going to go, please hurry and leave.
She yelled at me. I must have said something rude. That still happens every so often. An innocuous remark can greatly upset someone. I must keep practicing. Are we at the announcement room yet? I climbed the stairway and noticed a silhouette in one of the classrooms. Looking carefully, it could be that student council president, Lapras. I would be relieved if I had caught up with her so soon. But the hand I raised to knock on the door inadvertently stops. Wait, could she be my next opponent? She wasn't in the promotional video. But neither was I. Yet I am being forced to fight in the Grand Prix? But there's no point in worrying about that now. I cannot change the path I take, nor the opponent I must face. I prepare myself and knock lightly on the door.
You're that girl from before.
The girl turns and notices me. I set foot in the classroom. There is no immediate interruption from General Teddy. It looks like he has not yet scheduled a match between us. I breathe a sigh of relief.
What are you doing here?
Ain't it obvious? I'm cleaning up the classroom. It's no picnic, what with people running wild and wrecking things.
She takes down the chairs piled on top of each other and lines them up. After a few runs, she takes a breath. Though she is complaining, there's a gentle smile on her face.
But I guess this is all in a day's work for a student council president. We'll look back on it and laugh,
That's
right?
the janitor's job.
You seem like you're having fun.
That's because I love my school. Even the chores are fun for me. The reason I wanted to be president is because of that. Oh, it can be rough when things get out of hand like this.
But it's dangerous here. You must leave at once. Won't you come with me?
She seems confused by my words and tilts her head to one side.
What? You're worried about me? Hey, I'm the president. And you might not think so to look at me, but I ain't no slouch in a fight. I'll be fine.
Yeah, just listen to the
No,
accent. You think that's an accent that can't
That's not what
fight?
I mean.
How should I put this? She still has no idea of the danger. She walked up next to me, takes a long look at my face, and
Your
giggles.
clothes are pretty out there, but I can see you mean well. Thanks. Some of these students won't listen to a word I say, but I feel like I gotta be here. No, I wanna be here.
Even if it puts you in danger?
You're really a drama queen, aren't you? Who's to say I'm in danger for sure? Besides,
Her eyes burn with affection for something dear to her.
even if you're right, I'd wanna stay here.
There is no need to test her commitment. It is consistent with the fact that this world being created. Then is she human?
I always wanted to go to school with everyone, just like normal. That's all.
Does that imply you couldn't do so before?
You're asking me that now? Honestly? Back then,
She stops abruptly. I wait patiently for her to continue, but her face twists with suffering. She puts her fingers to her temple, her knees begin to buckle.
What's wrong?
Weird. The past. How come it's
It's gone. She begins to fall and I catch her. At that precise moment, there's a strong reading from my fingers as soon as I touch her. It's so strong, like touching a hot stove. This is the same reading as when I first stuck my hand into the TV. It is coming from a personality module, a piece of lost technology that researchers had called plumes of dusk due to their shape. I have one inside me as well. This is not merely strong evidence, it is conclusive. There are still questions to be answered, but this girl can be none other than Labros. At the very least, she is not human.
Sorry, I'm not feeling so good all of a sudden.
The memory she is trying to access is causing conflicts with her current level of awareness. If she tries to remember, she will not be able to maintain her mental state. The memory is that charged. I hold her close and wait for her to calm down, but her reaction does not improve, it gets worse. She shakes violently as if electrified. Suddenly, bright light bursts in front of my eyes. Something flowing into me? I quickly let go of Labros, but it does not fade away easily. Images I don't recognize flow together in my head, one after another, at incredible speeds. Oh jeez.
Are these...
That was a tree.
Labros's memories?
The torrent of data finally subsides. I analyze the data to find out what happened, and then I understand. It did not flow into me. This data was already dormant inside of me. I am the last number of the Anti-Shadow Weapon Project. I inherited all the data from the previous modules of the same type, both tangible and intangible. Labros's memories were part of it. Normally, the developers would not upload data into me that was not unrelated to battle. But the Plume of Dusk is a black box. It is possible that something was transferred somehow through that. Thinking about it, that might have been the reason I thought I saw Labros at the airport. My glimpse of the newly awakened Labros caused my buried records of her appearance to be called. Perhaps that is what happened. Unfortunately, the memories I have just accessed are in complete disarray. I can't just flip through it like it's an album. The video records were not in chronological order, meaning I can't make sense of them in their current state. However, there are one memory that left an impression on me. The sea. That cerulean sky and lingering clouds, the emerald blue water. All of the other memories are of cold mechanical rooms, or the night sky, but this one is different.
What was that just now?
Labros staggers as she stands up. Before I can ask her anything, she abruptly shakes me off and runs out of the classroom.
Wait!
I try to chase after her, but after only a few steps, I trip over my own feet. The information overload has prevented me from making any sudden movements. I fight through it, dragging what feels like several times the weight of my legs when...
Are you sure you want to take that girl out of here?
Shadow, I guess? I stumble to a stop and look around, searching for the hidden speakers.
This is the only place she can fit in. No one will understand her once she steps outside. But she can't become human either. So she has no other choice but to wallow in this illusory school. Pitiable, isn't she? But this is the only way she can be happy. Are you going to take that from her?
I stop, suddenly realizing the answer to my question, and catch my breath in my throat. This voice. It's mine.
What will you do after you take her from here? Lock her up in a box again? How cruel. No wonder she ran away. Ran away? What are you... You don't mean... You finally figured it out? Labros wasn't brought here by some sinister mastermind. She escaped on her own and came here. That can't be. The suspects in the hijacking case... I'm sure you've seen the opponents you fought so far robbed of their sanity. Have you forgotten already? You're saying that was Labros's doing too? Yes. Her heart gave birth to this world. And that power is one of
I feel like it's gonna hit me with a to be continued right here.
Some special equipment. With a power like that, wouldn't it be simple to control a number of ordinary people?
I don't know, we're gonna be finding out what's happening. It's true that the hijackers were confused and that there were signs of some mental interference.
It does seem strange to go to so much trouble to come to a place like this. If she did in fact do this, then she must face herself. What gives you the right to say that?
Suddenly, the tone of her voice changes. She speaks very gently, like a parent correcting a child.
You've experienced suffering before, too. It pains you to have a heart, knowing that you can never be human. Even if there was someone you considered to be worth fighting for, you can't be a real companion to them.
Oh, say
That's
it.
why you chose to protect
Say it.
them as
Do
a
the
weapon.
thing.
But in the end, you still
I think that's
lost
it.
them.
That's why you chose to protect them as a weapon, but in the end you still lost them.
What do you know about me? Mere words will not cause
Do it.
me to
Say it.
abandon hope. A brave bluff. But a tool like yourself can never be a true partner for a human. Doesn't your heart yearn to be by their side and to be loved? It hurts so much that I wish I could go back to how I was before I gained a heart. Has that really never once crossed your mind? That pain will never completely disappear. It will always fester inside you.
I'm surprised there's not an Igus
Isn't
portrait
that
or a shadow.
right? Even if you take Labras away, the same will happen to her. She'll become just like you. Is that a fate you want for her?
Say what? I want them to acknowledge the death of the Persona 3 protagonist.
You see, here you can have anything, as long as you look away from the truth. That doesn't just go for Labras, but for you too. Even the things you have lost forever. Here, you can have them back. What are you?
I cut myself off, realizing that I'm becoming fascinated with the voice. This isn't good. I cannot let the voice deceive me. I must get its speaker in my sights first. I carefully tune myself to the source of the voice and quickly turn in that direction. But the person standing there is me. Or rather, something that looks like me. At first, I think that overload is still affecting my sensors. But that is not the case.
I'll take away your suffering. Now, take my hand, Igus.
I smile and extend out my hand. I feel dazed. This is very confusing. I don't know what to do. My mind advises caution, but my heart doesn't listen. But all of a sudden, the door opens in the corner.
Pardon my interruption of this seemingly trivial conversation.
Of course you would show up. This unexpected event brings me back to reality, and I realize that I was nearly seduced by its promises. On a second look, I can see a woman beyond the doorframe. That distinctive blue dress. I recognize the attire of an elevator girl. Her name was Elizabeth. Okay, so FES did happen. But why is she here? Elizabeth walks right in and stands in the center of the room. There is nothing outwardly abnormal about her pose, but it is as imposing as the battle stance. She opens her thick leather book and then smiles dauntlessly at the other me.
Excuse me, but I would like a word with this lady over here. Would you mind leaving?
Who are you?
If you don't leave the two of us, I must resort to giving you a hearty thrashing with my book.
Is the mystery character I haven't unlocked yet? Is it gonna be Elizabeth? That'd be so funny.
It's a hardcover, leather-bound edition, and is quite powerful. Enough to do over 4 digits on average, I'd say.
Without warning, the pages from the open book overflow with light.
I don't believe this.
The other me's face flinches in pain as she vanishes into the air while spitting a curse. Is she gone now? I can no longer pick up any readings on her. The tension leaves my body and I collapse to the ground. While I am there, Elizabeth walks towards me. I first met her 2 years ago. Her attire is somewhat strange, but the place I met her was even stranger. A blue room, that is the only way to describe that mystical place. Its residents called it the Velvet Room. I do not believe it was all a part of the real world. There, Elizabeth was one who governs power. She helped me to grow spiritually by introducing me to the power of personas. I never imagined that she would leave that room, let alone that I would run into her here. Yet, her appearance here has saved me.
I'm sorry for that. Thank you for saving me.
Okay, so I think they are acknowledging Persona 3 FES, which is kind of cool.
Did I save you?
She stares straight at me, then lets out a long sigh of
I was
disappointment.
on a journey for personal reasons. But I sensed some extraordinary powers clashing against each other and came to see what all the fuss was about. Only to be met with this bitter disappointment.
I am baffled by her candidness.
Please stand. Have you already forgotten the enlightenment you gained before me once? Has it escaped your prodigious goldfish-like memory?
Ooh.
It seems that I must once again ascertain what you are truly capable of.
She speaks as if she is engaging in everyday conversation and opens her leather-bound book again. Suddenly, a murderous aura fills the area, fierce as a gust of wind. Something about me has disappointed her. I know that much, but I clearly have no time to ask her what it is.
Well, here goes. The cards will decide your fate.
You know, I'm gonna be honest, I forgot she was even in this story. Elizabeth versus you? I fought her at the beginning of the game when I played as you. And I beat her.
Finally! Fight!
Impressive. Impressive. My turn. Now. Impressive. What? Limiters did not anticipated.
What?
Severe impact. Less damage. Rebel. Hit. Rebel. Impressive. Down. Please hit. The time. Oh no. Airstrike. Start to block. Go. No escape. Evaded. No. See Daisy. Athena. Thanatos.
Oh, he's eating me.
Less damage.
I think Thanatos is a cool persona. I think he's one of the coolest.
Impressive. Also, this is a proof of growth.
Well done.
Elizabeth stands from her kneeling position. Though she lost, she did not so much as break a sweat. While I, for my part, am detecting strain on my entire drive system. I can see myself, lacking the energy to even speak, reflected in Elizabeth's clear eyes.
You are indeed neither man nor any ordinary machine. You are truly singular. But then can anyone be said to be the same as anybody else? People anguish over the gulf between themselves and others, and the lack of any who could possibly understand them. How is their situation different from yours? What defines life is not death, but bonds. That is the answer you once reached. Then take that to heart and go forth. Remember that your bonds will remain unbroken, giving you the strength to withstand any suffering.
My bonds.
I, too, am currently on an endless journey, but I anticipate that you will become a compatriot of mine, unbound by the limitations of time. I hope that you will not be led astray by trivial things. With that, I bid you good luck.
Elizabeth bows and finally shows me her smile. Immediately after, she turns on one heel and walks towards the hallway. I suddenly remember.
There are rules to this tournament delineating behavior after a match.
Such parlor tricks can get stuffed. I shall be on my way.
Oh, she just leaves. True to her word, she leaves the room with no trouble and closes the door with an exaggerated slam. Those walls were nothing to her. But come to think of it, Labrys didn't seem subject to those rules either. Do they only apply to participants in a tournament? No, in Elizabeth's case, it simply does not matter to her.
She remains a complete enigma.
She roams the world, free of the Velvet Room. I find it amusing, which allows me to feel more relaxed.
It may be true that this world can grant one's true desire, but I want Labrys to see past herself to a world where other people matter. Even if one discards their bonds to avoid pain, all that awaits is a numb, desert-like future with no promise. I thought as she did once.
But I guess.
So I'm sure
Don't you want your dead friend back? I too felt the same as Labrys when I went through an incredibly trying ordeal. If there's no one to reach out to her, she'll become even more trapped. As she is now, Labrys cannot escape her on her own. That is because the key to extricating oneself is the realization that one is not alone.
I want to form a bond with Labrys, with my sister. I want to teach her things that she cannot learn if she is alone.
Saying it out loud helps to strengthen my resolve. I changed my approach and focused on searching for a way to save her. Still, that thing that looked like me. Was that what Naoto meant by a shadow going berserk? My own shadow. Thinking of it that way shed some light on things. Of course, I can control my persona and have some resistance to the effects of this world, but the heart cannot be so easily stabilized. If the same thing happens to Labrys, I suddenly realize the dangers involved. I impatiently suppress these thoughts and dash out to the hallway. Are we at the end yet? I follow the path formed by the invisible walls. Eventually, they climb the stairway to the 3rd floor. There seems to be no walls here, allowing me to go as I please. I can tell the end is near, and so I prepare myself. Soon, I stand in front of a room that has a sign outside saying announcement room. The door is half open. I can sense someone inside. I cautiously press up against the door and peek around it. I'm gonna guess Narukami's in here. This is the announcement room, as the sign indicated, but the space inside is much larger than the classroom I have seen. The equipment here is also closer to that of a TV studio than what would be found in a school. On top of that, the back wall is made of glass, showing a view that is clearly not a schoolyard. Taken together, this is the first distinct sign that this is not the real world. As I expected, Labrys is here, standing in the middle of the room. There's also another boy and a girl as well. Okay, yeah. The girl is holding Labrys' shoulder, and the boy stands in front of the pair, protecting them. Across them is General Teddy. It seems this is the end of the line. It's Yosuke? I've seen that boy's face in the video. Yosuke Hanamimi, I believe. I'm not familiar with the girl's face, but I do recognize her distinctive voice. It's the same voice that has been commentating on the fights along with General Teddy on the PA. From the tone of the commentating, I thought she was working with the General, but right now she seems to be on Yosuke and Labrys' side. I recall what Chie told me. Chie said that Rize was originally their friend, in which case she may actually be another victim. General Teddy gives a cruel smile, squints his eyes, and speaks.
What a shame. You gave it a try, but there's no way anyone would understand you.
Oh, wait. No, yeah. I don't think Aigis would be here. Or I don't think Narukami was here. In Narukami's route, I don't think Aigis was around, because Narukami had beaten Aigis. So yeah, this actually makes sense. General Teddy's voice and tone have undergone a remarkable change. Listening closely, this voice is... Ah, so it finally reveals its true form.
At least one of them has to understand how I feel. Isn't that what you thought? The important part is that it's all your fault.
That's not true.
You're not me.
You still refuse to remember? Look at me. And stop deluding yourself.
Who's ready for the cutscene again? Oh, let's continue.
The true self.
Yeah, I don't know how any of this works. Like, what is actually, like, true or not.
No way. That's... She has my face.
But the face is the only thing that is the same. The rest of her body is covered in metal. There's no doubt that it is man-made. Labrys lets out a short scream and backs up.
I'm not like that.
Calm down. It's just taking that form to agitate you.
Yosuke is frantically trying to calm Labrys down. It's just taking that form to agitate you? That's what he says, but is that really the case? I have my own suspicions.
No! Taking that form, huh?
Well, you have a point. I do have the power to confuse people's senses, warp what they're seeing, twist what they're hearing.
That's how you made my senpai fight each other.
Of the things you're seeing right now, which do you think is real and which is fake?
The former General Teddy, no, Labrys' shadow, breaks out into a grin. Labrys, meanwhile, in cringing in fear as she holds onto Yosuke's sleeve.
No! I'm not like you. I'm human, aren't I?
I hate to break it to you, Labrys,
Huh?
but you're not.
What do you mean?
I can see that Yosuke does not know how to answer the sudden
And
question.
how did I come to have these special powers? Why, it's because I have them.
With that, the shadow snaps its fingers. At once, static like that on a poorly tuned TV starts appearing around Labrys and slowly envelops her. I enhance my vision. Nothing is happening to Labrys' body. It was my own vision that was clouded, or had been until now. Soon after, the noise dissipates, an inhuman-looking girl is standing in her place.
A robot?
It's a robot. Metallic arms and legs extended from her uniform. Thrusters on her back spread like wings. It's just as I thought. Her body is identical to that of the shadow in front of her.
Look, that's what she really looks like. It's her who's been deceiving you all from the start. Not only you, but herself too. She really thinks that she's a human living a normal life at school. To reinforce her make-believe as real, she prevented herself from accessing any memories that could contradict that. She even sealed away her own name.
Not her name, she needs that.
No! Stop! Why are you doing this?
Kindly hurry up and remember me. Remember yourself. It's pretty rude of you to even forget your own name.
No!
You're not
I don't
me.
want to remember!
Huh. Is that so? Looks like you still need an extra push.
The shadow grins evilly and swings the enormous axe at Labrys, or actually at Yosuke.
Yosuke-senpai!
Before the axe can complete its arc, I am already in action. I must intervene. Neither Labrys, in shock at seeing her true form, nor Yosuke or Rize are prepared for the attack.
What the?
I deflect the strike with a metallic part of my arm. It was heavier than I anticipated. The battle axe is a giant lump of metal that blocks most of my vision.
Girl? Wait, you're a robot too?
Look at Yosuke's stupid face. I turned my head to Labrys and looked straight into her shocked
You
eyes.
must remember, that is the only way the future will open up to you. You must accept it, no matter how painful it may be.
I tell her her name in a clear voice. Her official name, which includes something no human has, a model number.
Your true name is 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon, Labrys.
Labrys quivers violently, as if an invisible arrow had pierced her chest. To be continued. And with that, I guess is over, which leaves only 2 left. So I guess everything's gonna be finalized and revealed with the Labrys story, and I guess whatever happens next. But not today. None for you. That'll be for tomorrow. And I'm not going to bother with the online, because the online doesn't seem to work at its best right this second in time. So I'm just going to end it here. So I hope you enjoyed, and see you around next